Welcome. Today is Sunday, the 13th of June, the year 2021. This is Agbakuni Tonile Oodua. It simply means the elders never cease to exist on the land of Oodua. Good morning, good afternoon, dear viewers all over the world. Thank you for joining me once again. I am Irilu Tuwashe. It's always a much cherished privilege to have you join me as usual. Should you have questions, comments, my number +44 7405 365 994. It's normal. You have got that. I'll be delighted to take your comments directly on my phone. Now, it's also a delight to welcome to the Zoom area a number of important individuals, important and relevant for the purpose of this session. This session is a unique one. I think I last had similar, focusing just on Obatala, but today we are going to be focusing on somebody very close to Obatala himself. Now, in a while, I'm hoping that I'll be joined by one of our spiritually filled, crowned individual in the world of Obatala. I haven't seen him join us yet, but I have a number of those who are welcome, Yoruba Gbayi. I have a number of those connected to the ancient Obatala temple of Ile-Ife. Ile-Ife or Ile-Ife is where Obatala existed. That's where he belongs. And that's from where majority of people would have encountered him. And of course, Yemoja. Let me warmly welcome Yoruba Gbayi. I'm delighted you're able to join us so you can help me with the interpretation. I've explained the protocol before you arrive. Please keep muted and do not say anything unless invited to do so. Let me check and see if Obalesun has joined us. And Obameso, please let me know once he joins us. Meanwhile, I cannot but invite a spiritual start to this session. In the absence of Obalesun Obatala, what I'm going to do is to invite one of my guest speakers of today to open the session. I'm looking out to see if there's a message from Obalesun, but if you can just give me a moment. Let's see if there's any message. Okay, let me see if there's any message. Right, okay. Expecting him. In the meantime, permit me to welcome Oba Yemoja Batala Agbaye, that is Idris Sulaiman Babatunde, one of the guest speakers. But we have to start this session properly. So let me invite him to kickstart the session with our traditional Iwure, the traditional manner in which a session like this should start. So it's over to Ekabo Sorietu. No, Oba Yemoja Batala Agbaye Monike Bawa Shi Agbo Ijoko yi nígbà tá ṣe ń retí bàbá wa Obalesun Obatala. Ó yẹ bá mi fi ìṣẹ́jú márùn-ún fi ṣí ètò yìí.
Yóò pa òrìṣà o.
Òrìṣà ìgbà.
Mo kí wa kú ìrọ̀lẹ́ ní ikú ọ̀sán níbi tí a wà kú ìsinmi òní. Ojúmọ́ tó máa lónìí ojúmọ́ owó, ojúmọ́ ọlà. Mo ṣèbà kọ́dáyé, mo ṣèbà ṣẹ̀dá. Mo ṣèbà ẹni tó ní ìlú, mo ṣèbà ẹni tó nílẹ̀. Mo ṣèbà kábíyèsí, Obalesun Àrólé Ọbàtálá, ó mẹ́ta dàda kan kábíyèsí, ẹrú wa ń dájì. eru wa ń dájì, eru wa ń dájì, wórí, wórí. Mo ṣèkà kábíyèsí onírìṣà ọ̀jájá, kábíyèsí eru wa ń dájì, eru wa ń dájì, eru wa ń dájì. Mo ṣe bọ́ ọkùnrin, mo ṣe bọ́ obìnrin. Ojúmọ́ tó máa lórí ojúmọ́ ayọ̀ ló máa jẹ́ fún wa. A ò ní ṣìṣe, a ò ní ṣìdẹ̀tẹ̀. Ó ṣe bá kábíyèsí mi ipò ojúmọ́ tó máa lórí ojúmọ́ owó ojúmọ́ lání. A ò ní dààmú, a ò ní ṣe lásán. Ìpàdé tí a ṣe lónìí ìrere ló máa já sí fún wa. A ní kí kábàámọ̀ jẹ. Mo ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìlú, mo ṣe lò ṣùgbọ́n mo ṣe bẹ̀yìn tó kọ́ nílé ayé, mo ṣe bẹ̀yìn obìnrin tó wà nínú ilé aláyọ̀ yìí. Mo wá ṣèbà ìyá mi tó lé lóòótọ́ náà, mo ṣèbà yín ayé ò ní rí yín mú. Ọ̀nà àlà fún yín, ayé ò ní paná ògo yín. Àwa wá ṣe ìpàdé yìí, a ṣe ìpàdé yìí, a ò ní ṣe lékú lọ́wọ́. Eré ò ní ṣeré láṣẹ mọ́. Kábíyèsí wa náà ọ̀jájá wọ́n pẹ́ lórí oyè, kájọ pẹ́ lórí, kí bàtà ó pẹ́ lẹ́sẹ̀, ká má ṣe fún wọn ṣàwátì. A ò ní sípò òjijì, a ò ní ráyìn rà lórí anybody. A rí bẹ̀ fún wa ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin bàbá mi tẹ́ wà nínú ilé aláyọ̀ yìí náà. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin Yemoja tó wà nínú ilé aláyọ̀ yìí. Mo kí Ọlọ́bàtálá pé yóò pa òrìṣà o, òrìṣà yóò pa.
Oba Meso, over to you in English language. Oba Meso. Whilst I'm waiting for Oba Meso, let me simply say that what you have encountered, please mute yourself. Please mute yourself. I'm afraid there's a system on my phone. If I remove you, you won't be able to get back in with your noise. You will not be able to get back in. I beg of you, please mute yourself. I'm just trying to establish who is making this noise. Ọba Yemoja, ọba ta ló dàbí pọ́dọ̀ yín ni, ò ṣé kìí ṣọ̀dọ̀ yín ni a ti ń gbórin. Ṣé kìí ṣọ̀dọ̀ yín la ti ń gbórin? Ẹ ṣé mo. Okay, ẹ ṣé mo dúpẹ́. A very warm welcome to you. We've just had a traditional opening of the session. What we've encountered is paying homage to the Arole Obatala, who I'm hoping will soon join us. Arole Obatala, you may not be accustomed to, but you may be more accustomed to Arole Oodua. Arole means that is the person who is sitting on the throne representing either Oodua or Obatala himself. Many of us may not know that Obatala himself was a king, is a king with a crown. That's very important. What we have encountered is special ushering of the honor that is necessary for those who need to be honored in order for us to get the way paved to move ahead with this session. So I hope that explains in small details what we've just encountered. Welcome to Alagba Bosun. Are you there? Please say good afternoon so I can hear you. Alagba Bosun, Yoruba Foundation. Are you there?
Mo fẹ́ sọ fún ọmọ nípa òrìṣà oyè.
Òrìṣà Epa.
Bàbá ní pé òun ò lè wọlé but ó wà lórí fóònù.
Ó dà kò burú, a máa tẹ̀síwájú. Tọ́n bá wọlé dé, ẹ jẹ́ ká mọ̀. We've just had apology, so there seems to be delay, but we need to go on. Baba Neil Rollins, are you there? Baba Neil Rollins, are you there?
Yes, I am. Are you hearing me?
Over to you. Please welcome all those necessary from Trinidad and Tobago in particular. Thank you.
Okay. Greetings and blessings and Good morning. It's 10:40 a.m. in Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean. Greetings and blessings to everyone, to each and every one. All protocols observed. To you, Ia Erilu, thank you once again for having us in this very important discussion. I on behalf of the elders, I just spoke to Mother Dollar this morning. We are grateful for this opportunity, and especially within this time of pandemic and COVID, it has opened up a new area of communication for us to communicate across the seas. I'd like to welcome all the persons from Trinidad and Tobago that I'm seeing that I can identify. I know Iya Shango Fumilayo is here. I'm seeing Ifa Bumi. I'm seeing my good sister Marsha Clifton. I'm seeing Baba Wokan present. I'm seeing Ifa Kumio also, and Sister Maria, I think, Marcia. Okay. I'm seeing my sister Tempu. Greetings to you, and to all those who maybe I don't know your Zoom titles, but pleasant good morning, and I pray that this discussion today would be edifying as always, and we'll learn. I see Baba Usuna has just stepped in. I pray that today's discussion would be equally interesting and informative as always, as we explore and discuss our tradition, our Yoruba tradition, our ancestral tradition, as we learn, to accept new things. Ashe, thank you so very much, Irilu.
Thank you very much indeed. Those of you who have joined us, let me explain. Baba Neil Ryan Rollins is the retired sergeant of police. The most important thing about him is that he's a lead crime analyst. He's a practitioner of our traditions. Is the secretary of Council of Orishas Elders of Trinidad and Tobago. I want those of you who are in Yoruba to hear that. In Trinidad and Tobago, they have Orisha Council of Elders. They don't have that in Nigeria. They don't. Kí n lè sọ Yorùbá, wọ́n ní ẹgbẹ́ àwọn àgbààgbà tó ń bẹ ní Orisha. This Orisha Council of Elders had the involvement of our late Oni of Ife, Oni Ano, Tontifile Shashobura. That was in 1989, he went to Trinidad and Tobago. And one of the positive outcomes, we have this Orisha Council of Elders. I want to repeat, this Orisha Council of Elders, they work with their own government. They work with their government. Ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ẹ̀ ní òrìṣà kankan, ẹlẹ́gbẹ́ òrìṣà kankan tó ń bàjọba ṣiṣẹ́. Kò sí. I want us to remember that. On this program, I have had representative of government, a minister join us before. She's likely to come. In Nigeria, the politicians don't want to go near Orisha. They don't. The Yoruba one, they don't want to. They don't want to. Trinidad and Tobago, wọ́n ní ìgbìmọ̀ àwọn àgbààgbà tó wá ń di òòṣà tó dẹ̀ ń bàjọba ṣiṣẹ́ tó ìjọba dẹ̀ ń gbé wọn gẹ̀gẹ̀gẹ̀. I've just said, Trinidad and Tobago, there is this council that the government recognizes, the government have regard for, the government listens to, and that have had a minister of government. Unlike Nigeria, it is like a crime to be Olorisha. they see you as the devil of 1900. So I believe that shows the progress that Orishas have made. Meaning, if you cannot make it possible in Yoruba land, where the Orishas settled, exhibited existence, they will do it outside. I just want to ensure we know that. And you know one thing? A lot of the elders are committed to this tradition. So what is today about? Uncovering buried truths. Wọ́n ní ṣíṣírí àwọn òtítọ́ tí a ti fẹ́ sin òtítọ́. The challenge we have amongst Yoruba traditional practitioners is getting to the truth. Getting to the truth. Ṣòtítọ́ ṣòdodo ẹni ṣòtítọ́ ni mọ́lẹ̀ mọ̀. The truth, you know. Welcome to all of you. We've had many instances of people in Trinidad and Tobago, Brazil, Jamaica, Barbados, totally confused by what is not the truth about the practice. You know, the interesting thing, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, they don't do it for money. They don't do it for money. They freely follow the traditions of the ancestors, not because of money, not because they want to be important, but the people in Nigeria have been taking confusion there, trying to create a situation of imbalance. So it's very important we understand that the Orishas of Yoruba land, of Ife, they want the truth. They will continue to find those who want to sit on the throne of the truth. So today we are looking at the Yemoja ancestral dynasty of Ufe Oodua, kingdom of the unseen. Kilangbeyewo leni agbo ńlá náà ìjọba Yemoja ní ìlú tí àti tá a lè rí mọ́ ṣùgbọ́n tó ṣì wà pẹ̀lú wa tá a lè tẹ̀síwájú nídìí ètò yìí. Ǹjẹ́ Ọba Lẹ́sùn ti dé báyìí? Ǹjẹ́ a ti rí wọn kán dé? Ọba Mẹ́sàn, has he arrived?
Hello, Yeye. Bàbá wà lórí fóònù báyìí tó fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀.
Oda, let's go ahead. Oh yeah, please go ahead. Ẹ bá mi kí wọn.
Ẹ̀lẹ́ ń bá dúró ètò yìí o. Àmì àṣẹ o. Yeye, èèpà òrìṣà.
Òrìṣà èèpà o.
Mo kí Yeye Erelu tó àṣẹ. Alátúnṣe òrìṣà ló yẹ kán yẹ lóyè. Wọ́n tún ṣe ní Nàìjíríà, wọ́n tún lọ tún ṣe ní ìlú àwọn èèyàn fúnfún lọ́hùn. Káàkiri àgbáláyé ní Yeye tún òrìṣà ṣe. Àwọn arúmọlẹ̀ ojúkọ̀ tó gbámọ́lẹ̀ ojúkọ̀ sí bí wọ́n mọ̀lẹ̀ olè kan wá tún àwọn náà ṣe. Àgbàsíwọ̀n ní sọ́mọ́dún. Inú mi dùn sí ọ̀gán gbogbo ìgbà tí máa ń gbọ́ program wọn, inú mi máa ń dùn. Irú mítìn tèmi báyìí. Bí ẹ̀gún ẹ sínú mi kò lè kọsẹ̀ sí Erelu pàṣẹ tó di Rẹ́mọ. Inú mi dùn sí wọn o. Inú gbogbo ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ dùn sí wọn, inú òrìṣà aládùn sí wọn, inú Ọbàtálá dùn sí wọn. Ìyàwó Ọbàtálá tẹ́lẹ̀ fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ lé ní ìyẹn Yemoja, inú ẹ̀ náà dùn sí wọn. Inú ẹ̀ ní Yemoja dùn sí ìyá yẹn léni. Torí pé inú ìfẹ́ ń dùn. Ọbàtálá tá a mọ̀ sí òrìṣà aláàmọ̀lẹ́lẹ̀ tá a Nàìjíríà mọ̀ sí bàbá arúgbó. Orúkọ bàbá pọ̀. A mọ̀ sí alábàáláṣẹ Olódùmarè. Ọ̀rọ̀ ìyàwó ẹ̀, ìkànnì àwọn ìyàwó ẹ̀ náà tún sọ yìí o. Ìkànnì àwọn ọkùnrin ọgbà ìyàwó ẹ̀, òun náà ní Yemoja. Ṣùgbọ́n nígbà táwọn bàbá wa fi ilẹ̀ fáwa ń bí, àwọn ò gbọ́ pé Yemoja bímọ fún bàbá. Pé òun ní Yeye gbogbo ohun tó wà ní omi. Tóró náà, ó òun náà lọ di nǹkan míì ni nígbà tí ọkọ ẹ̀ dọ̀tá tán òun náà di nǹkan míì sínú omi. Yémo àjẹyémo bòníbà ó ní ààyò bàbá jù lẹ́yìn ìgbà yẹn ló kan Òjé. Bàbá tó fẹ́ràn Yemoja torí pé Yemoja ó máa ń ran bàbá lọ́wọ́ lóríṣiríṣi ọ̀nà tí bàbá bá fẹ́ mọ odi tàbí wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe àṣẹ kan Yemoja ni bí errand woman bó ṣe jẹ́ sí bàbá nìyẹn ṣùgbọ́n àgbọ̀ kó bímọ ó dùn mí torí àwọn bàbá tó sọ̀tọ̀ yẹn wọ́n ní kò bímọ wọ́n ní ṣùgbọ́n gbogbo ọmọ ló bí gbogbo ọmọ ló bí gbogbo tó bá ti wà nú odò táǹpẹ̀ lẹ́jà àtẹjọ́ ọkùnrin àtẹjọ́ obìnrin Yemoja ló bí wọn. So inú mi dẹ́ dùn mọ́ ṣàdúrà fún bàbá ẹ̀ ọ́ ní ìsà kádé pẹ́ lórí kí bàtà pẹ́ lẹ́sẹ̀ kó wá rí pẹ́pẹ́pẹ́ ojúbọ Yemoja tó wà ní Ifẹ̀ nílùú dé níbí bàbá ti ń tún ṣe wọ́n dẹ̀ ná ẹgbẹ̀lẹ́gbẹ̀ owó síbẹ̀ láti rí i pé ojúbọ yẹn ò parẹ́ wọ́n ti kọ́lé síbẹ̀ wọ́n ṣe bẹ̀ yẹn dáadáa wọ́n fẹ́ èèyàn síbẹ̀ so àwọn olóyè tiwa náà tí a fi jẹ àjẹ ọmọbìnrin Yemoja àgbáyé àjẹ ọba Yemoja àgbáyé pé kí orúkọ yẹn kó má parẹ́ àwọn á lè jáde wọ́n á lè máa fọwọ́ bo gbogbo àléébù àbí nǹkan kan tó bá ń kan orúkọ yẹn lára ìdí nìyẹn tàbí wọ́n jẹ wọ́n dẹ̀ ṣe dáadáa so ọkàn wa balẹ̀ inú mi dùn sí yẹ̀yẹ́ o inú mi dùn sí ká wọ́n tún pé kí lórúkọ ọkùnrin ní Trinidad and Tobago òun ló ṣe akọ̀wé àwọn àgbà àwo ní Trinidad and Tobago ó dàbí kọ́lọ́pàá ní nígbà tó lọ bẹ̀ 2018 àjọ ríra àjọ máa ń sọ̀rọ̀ torí máa ń bá àwọn ẹ̀dà yẹn sọ̀rọ̀ ìjà tí wọ́n abẹ́ tipẹ́tipẹ́ ìlú ló parí ẹ̀ inú mi dùn pé wọ́n pẹ̀lú ẹ̀dà abẹ́ yẹn síbẹ̀ yẹn pé kò náà dá sí ọ̀rọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀ ẹ ṣé mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín o mo dúpẹ́ kọ́ńtínú ìparẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ sì jẹ́ kó Yemoja parẹ́ kọ́ńtínú ìparẹ́ àwọn èèyàn kan lè wà lórúkọ kan máa lórí ìtàkùdù torí àwọn kan sọ pé wa ni Yemoja ti wá kò rí bẹ́ẹ̀ o Ifẹ̀ ń bí lójúbọ ẹ̀ wà wọ́n lè máa bọ́ǹbù mí o ẹ wo Ọ̀ṣun náà odò Ọ̀ṣun tó ń pè ní odò Ọ̀ṣun lọ́sọ̀gbọ̀ ṣe bí Ìlàwọ̀ Èkìtì lómi yẹn ti wá so ó dẹ̀ lọ́sọ̀gbọ̀ wọ́n pàtàkì ẹ̀ wọ́n sọ di nǹkan mi wọ́n sọ di rúmọlẹ̀ so Ọ̀ṣun dẹ̀ káàkiri bí Yemoja náà ṣe rí nìyẹn ọkàn yẹn abalẹ̀ àdúrà yẹn àgbà o àwọn Yemoja ìyá wa ni òbí òkè ẹ̀bí mọ olóbí gbogbo wa ìyá wa ni náà adẹ́dá gbogbo wa sí. Ìgbà àṣẹ bàbá fi ránṣẹ́ ìgbà yẹn ìlú apẹ̀rọ̀ ìlú àdúgbòpẹ̀rọ̀ ọkàn yẹn abalẹ̀ mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀yin náà lẹ́yìn mi ìbá tí sùn nítorí pé mi nílé dá sí ètò tó wà lẹ́yìn ṣùgbọ́n mo ń dá sí báyìí inú mi ń dá dùn mo dẹ̀ ṣàdúrà fún èyí tó ń ṣagbátẹrù ẹ̀ mo ṣàdúrà fún gbogbo kan tó mọ̀ pa ìpárápátá wọ́n ṣeun orúkọ tí wọn náà ò ní parẹ́ bí wọ́n ṣe fẹ́ kórúkọ Yemoja parẹ́ yìí orúkọ wọn ò ní parẹ́ àdúrà wa gbà ó.
So that was you've just listened to His Divine Grace Ọba Ìṣòro OOO Dada Ọba Lẹ́sùn Ọbàtálá Àgbáyé Ọba Àrìṣà Àgbáyé Ọlọ́jà Ìrànjẹ Ìtítàtà Ifẹ̀ and Àrólé Ọbàtálá, who today has told us briefly the story of Yemoja and Ọbàtálá. Let me tell you what he has said. He said that Yemoja was and is one of the wives of Ọbàtálá. Sadly, Yemoja had no children. Some may believe that Yemoja came from a particular area of Nigeria called Yewa. The answer is no. Yemoja came out of Ife. That's where he came out of. Obalesun said a lot of prayers and expressed gratitude for this particular session, during which we are hoping to ensure that the life, the story, the purpose of Yemoja is well understood. He thanked me. He also expressed gratitude for the participation of Orisha Council of Elders of Trinidad and Tobago, in particular Baba Anil. He recalled having meetings with Baba Anil and speaking to the council, also mediating when there appears to have been a need to do so. Delighted and very happy. He's offered a lot of prayers towards this session, especially those of us who are wanting today to facilitate the quality knowledge we all ought to have about Yemoja. He said quite clearly that Yemoja is the wife, or one of the wives, correction, one of the wives of Obatala did not have a child. Now, Yemoja is the mother of many, and so concludes his own contribution. He apologizes for not being able to connect by Zoom, but he's delighted and over the moon that he's been able to at least share his thoughts. And I think that set the scene. We've all heard that Yemoja is one of the wives of Obatala Alabalashe. That means somebody with authority. So that is that. On that note, permit me to go straight to, let me bring in Oba Yemoja Obatala Agbaye, who earlier on also offered prayers. So over to you, Oba Yemoja Obatala Agbaye, bá ṣe máa ṣe rèé. Tẹ́ bá ti ń sọ̀rọ̀ ní díẹ̀díẹ̀, ń máa gbìyànjú sọ lóyìnbó lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀. Ṣé yẹn dáa bẹ́ẹ̀?
Ó dà bẹ́ẹ̀.
Ó dáa. Now, I just said to him, so that I don't leave you for too long waiting for me to squeeze the whole thing into few lines or few words, I want him to go through what he has to say whilst I interpret into English language. Over to you. Oh yeah, ẹ tẹ̀síwájú.
Ẹ pa òrìṣà o.
Òrìṣà yẹ pa.
Mo kí wa pé a kú pàdé òní. Orúkọ mi ni Idris Sulaiman, tí mo jẹ́ Ọba Yemoja Obatala Agbaye ní abẹ́ bàbá mi Ọba Léṣù Àrólé Obatala ó mẹ́ta dàda kan.
Ẹ dúró ń bẹ̀ yẹn. He's just explained that as on the flyer, his name is Idris Sulaiman Babatunde. He's Oba Yemoja Obatala Agbaye under Oba Léṣù Obatala, who we have just listened to. Ẹ tẹ̀síwájú.
Mo ṣẹ̀ wá láti ọmọ Kwara State ni mí, àwọn family mi ṣẹ̀ wá láti Ilé Ifẹ̀.
Ńbo ni ìlú gangan Kwara?
Ọmọ Ìlàlà ni ìyá tó bí mi lọ́mọ, bàbá mi ni Jòrómọ̀sìn.
Well, he is at this point in time, he would say he came from an area in Kwara State, but as most of us know, Ife as well, every Yoruba would have been dispersed to other parts. Over to you, ẹ tẹ̀síwájú.
Nígbà tí wọ́n bí mi, wọ́n ìyá mi fẹ́ ọmọ. Wọ́n tẹ̀síwájú létí odò, wọ́n sunkún, bàbá mi lé wọn síta. Ìgbà tí wọ́n máa dé etí odò, ìyá mi sunkún lójoojúmọ́. Ìrànlọ́dẹ Ọlọ́run gbàdúrà wọn lóyún. Lílóyún tí wọ́n bá lóyún, tí wọ́n máa bí mi tóṣù pé etí odò náà bí mi sí.
what he's explaining that his mother was looking for a child, and for a very long time, the mother could not conceive, and so the father drove the mother out, considered her to have been a waste of time. You know what men are like. Drove the woman out, and the woman ran to the river and was appealing for assistance. And after a while, she returned back to the father and she conceived. When it was time for him to be born, she decided to go back, and he was born at the same spot near the river. Over to you.
Ìgbà tí wọ́n máa bí mi, bàbá mi, ìyá mi bí ọkùnrin, níbi tí wọ́n bí mi sí, òjò bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí rọ̀. Arábìnrin kan lọ sí àárín ìlú, wọn ò mọ ẹnìyẹn rí, kò ṣaráàlú wa torí a mọra wa nílùú yẹn. Ìgbà tí wọ́n máa dé ìlú yẹn, wọ́n lọ sọ fún wọn tó ń gbọ́ odò yẹn pé obìnrin kan ti bímọ sódò tí àmì ti lọ pọn mi. Lára mi ṣe lọ síbẹ̀, wọ́n wá rí rẹ́pò.
What happened was that after he was born, somebody who didn't know anything about it, somewhere near the river, gave a message, a spiritual message, that near the river there's a child born, and in order to be able to confirm that, there will be a sign seen, and a rainbow was seen at Tesiwaju.
Ni wọ́n ti sọ pé gbogbo aráàlú wá sí ìlú yẹn. Wọ́n ní kí wọ́n má gbé pàṣẹ́ntà mi lọ sí ìlú tó ń pè ní ibi ọmọ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. Kí wọ́n má gbé lọ sí ìlú kan bò sí etí odò yẹn náà nìkan rí mọ́ kí gbogbo aráàlú máa wá bọ odò yẹn.
The people ran to the river, and the person who delivered the message said that the afterbirth, contrary to our traditions in Yoruba land, when a child is born, the afterbirth is normally taken to the family location. But in this case, the message said the afterbirth, the placenta, should not be taken away from the spot, and that it should be buried in front of that river, and for people to come from time to time to come and pay homage. Over to you.
Gbogbo aráàlú kejì wọ́n wá ń wo ìran wò pé irú ọmọ wo lélẹ̀ tí wọ́n bí, òjò bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí rọ̀.
It started to rain.
Fún 8 days tí wọ́n ṣe fún mi ní súná, wọ́n wá ní pé kí wọ́n má dáná oúnjẹ ní àárín ìlú. Wọ́n ní kí wọ́n wá sí etí odò, gbogbo èèyàn máa bọ̀ wá sí etí odò. Ibẹ̀ náà ti dáná oúnjẹ.
8 days after, for a message came that throughout that town, nobody should cook food, and that all the cooking should happen near the river where he was born. Over to you.
Ibẹ̀ ni mo ti jẹ́ ẹlẹ́gbẹ́ ọmọ tí mo jẹ́ ọmọ Yemoja.
That's how it is.
Tí n bá ti sunkún ẹni oúnjẹ tó máa fún mi, wọ́n máa ní pé kán gbé ẹja síwájú mi àbí kán lọ fún mi lóúnjẹ létí odò. Tí n bá sì kètò ló máa sọ di kílíníkì tèmi.
Well, and henceforth, anytime he was ill, the only solution that emerged was for him to be taken to the river. And anytime he was taken to the river, he would get well. Over to you.
Ó dàgbà, wọ́n gbé wá sí Èkó. Mo kò ṣiṣẹ́ tí mi ò ṣe tán. Tí n bá ṣiṣẹ́ mi ò kí ń rówó. Wọ́n ní àfi tí n bá lọ jòkó ti ṣẹ́, tí n bá sùn, bí pé mi àti ẹja làjọ ń sùn. Àsìkò tó ti yẹ kí n níyàwó, tí n bá obìnrin ò fẹ́ gbọ́ òun obìnrin sétí, àbí tí n bá rí ẹja, ara mi máa nìdé sí ẹ̀jẹ̀ pé ẹja ni kí n máa kó mára, kí n máa gbé ẹja káàkiri.
So basically, he said he grew up, became educated, and started to work, but there was no job he could hold down. He kept losing his job, but also he seemed to have affinity for fishes. And for instance, he was not interested in women. It was as if he was more interested in being in the company of fishes more than human beings. That is what you.
ó jẹ́ ìlẹ́nu fún mi pé tí n bá ti ń wo omi màá máa gbọ́ ohùn.
It became a surprise to him that when he's near the river or the sea, he would be hearing voice.
Màá gbọ́ ohùn Ọbàtálá.
He'll be hearing the voice. The Ọbàtálá, for instance. Go ahead.
Gbàtí mo wá dẹ́kun bí àwọn àlejò wọn wá sí ọ́fíìsì mi bí wọ́n wá ròyìn mi títí tó fi dé ọ̀dọ̀ ọba Mẹ̀sọ́ Ọbàtálá Àgbáyé.
Now, he had no alternative. He moved to Lagos, and it was when he arrived in Lagos. I mean, those of you who know Lagos knows that Lagos itself is an island. It's surrounded by the sea. Now, whilst he was there, certain things began to happen, and the news of that got to Obameso. That's the gentleman who is in Belfast, who is himself a very important individual in the dynasty of Obatala of Ife Kingdom. So that is as far as the story goes. Etesiwaju.
Lẹ́yìn ìgbà wá yá ó surprise wọn wá ní kí n bá wọn tó wo iṣẹ́ kí n fáwọn lésì. Mo sọ pé àdúrà bá wọn wá sí láti UK, wọ́n wá sí Nàìjíríà. Wọ́n wá ní pé mo ní ìwé wà, àwọn mi dé lè fẹ́.
What happened was that, as they said earlier, you used to hear the voice. We hear the voice of the sea, the voice of the river, the voice of Obatala. And when the news got to Obameso, that was the gentleman holding the phone. He, based in United Kingdom, wanted to possibly test out the truth about this. So he asked him he consulted him. Now, and he came up with unbelievable information. So he was so surprised, he left UK and came to meet him in Lagos. Over to you.
Mo ṣe lọ sí Ilé Ifẹ̀ nìyẹn, lọ ṣètùtù fún mi, mo dádé lábẹ́ kábíyèsí Ọbalẹ́sù Àrólé Ọbàtálá tó jẹ́ èmi nìkan ni mo jẹ́ ọkùnrin àkọ́kọ́ fún ọba Yemoja Ọbàtálá Àgbáyé.
So, having had that encounter, he was taken to Ife, to Obatala temple. Some would say Obatala shrine. Now, the Obatala temple shrine is linked to the original location of the Obatala that we all talk about worldwide. So he was taken over there. And of course, if you can imagine, if one has been called by, I have to use the word Jesus Christ, for instance, to be a messenger, there will be a ceremony to ensure that person is able to take on that responsibility. It's kind of initiation. So he was initiated, properly reconnected, and in the history of Yoruba land, in the history of the whole of Ife dynasty, he became the first man to be, I would say, to become Yemoja priest in the true sense of it. But you will notice that when I announced his name, his title, I said Yemoja Obatala. Now, that is because he's had the Obatala anointing, if I can use that word, initiation. And who did the initiation? Most of us need to understand that unless anybody connected with Obatala to go back to Ife and be in the ancient home, ancient arena of Obatala is the ultimate. It's like going to Jerusalem. So majority of those who are I can call them first degree priests and priestesses would have gone through the initiation ceremony, and the party who normally is responsible for that, the gentleman Obalesun Obatala. Obalesun Obatala is a direct biological descendant of Obatala. Direct biological descendant of Obatala. There are biological descendants biological descendants of Obatala. So that's where the story will end for now. Let me ask him, where is he now? He's actually in a particular location. Let me invite him to tell us about ibi tẹ́ wà yìí, ẹ ṣàlàyé ẹ̀ fún wa.
Mo wà nílùú Èkó, ní ìlú Ìkọ̀tún, ní Ìjẹ̀gùn Road, Mọ́ṣáláṣí Street, Oore Ọ̀fẹ́, Àlímọ̀ṣọ́.
Ṣé ibi tí ẹ ti ń ṣe ètò nìyẹn? Ṣé temple yín nìyẹn? Ṣé shrine yín ni? Kí ni bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe rí?
Ẹ ṣe temple mi ni bíbá ẹ, ṣùgbọ́n mi kọ́ mo ní, kò sí àyè fún mi ò rí àyè pẹ̀lú onírànlọ́wọ́ tó mọ̀ ràn mí láti dúró sí ibi tí ó yẹ kí n dúró sí, kò gbà mí.
Okay. So he's actually communicating with us from a location that is equivalent of his temple. Although where he would like to be, he's still looking for assistance to be able to locate himself in the right place. And that's not unusual for many of the priests and priestesses of one Orisha or another in Nigeria. So I want to thank him very much for sharing his experiences. So, let me go straight to my next guest speaker, who is a female equivalent, and that is Olajumoke Agunloye Alabi, Obabìnrin Yemoja Obatala Agbaye. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò náà. A very warm welcome to you. Ẹ ṣàlàyé bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ṣalábàápàdé Yemoja fún wa. Obabìnrin Olúwakẹ́mi. Hello. Obabìnrin Olúwakẹ́mi, are you there? We are waiting for her to be able to unmute herself. If you've just joined me, a very warm welcome. And today, we are focusing on the world of unseen, the world of Yemoja. Yemoja, known worldwide. If you've just joined me, you've missed a short story. What you need to understand, which has been communicated, is that Yemoja was one of the wives of Obatala. Obatala of Ife. Obatala was one of the kings. In fact, many would say the most senior in Ife. Now, we've heard the story that Yemoja herself did not have any child. Did not have any child. However, to many at that point in time and still now is the mother. So that's as far as that Ife story goes. And we've just encountered someone who is currently Oba Yemoja Obatala Agbaye, whose story, as we've heard it, as follows. The mother was looking for a child. The husband of the woman, that's the father of this young man, got fed up of having a woman who could not conceive. So the woman was thrown out, and she went to the river. And that was where she appealed, and as she appealed, and she went back, and she conceived. But when it was time to have this child, she returned back to the same spot where the child was born. At the time the child was born, not too far from there, a woman, delivered a message to the townspeople that near the river a child has been born and that everybody should go there. They went there, there was this baby. And message delivered was, contrary to our traditions, the afterbirth was to be buried by the riverside. And cooking in the town was to stop, everybody was to go and cook feast by the riverside. That's the gentleman who today has become the first Yemoja, Oba Yemoja Obatala Agbaye. He explained that when he grew up, he found he had affinity for fishes. He was not interested in women. He discovered he could hear, if he's near the river, he could hear Obatala's voice. And to advance further evidence, somebody on the program here was one person who heard of his spiritual gift and tried to use his service, and lo and behold, a major surprise. He was so spot on. That was how he was taken to Ife, and necessary done in Ife, and he's now he's gone through the required rituals. It's very important, the required rituals to connect him as Yemoja priest to Obatala. That's the husband of the Yemoja. So I want you to explain, I want you to understand that from the story we have heard, if you are connected to Yemoja, the ritual, the connection to Obatala, very important. Obatala and Yemoja seems to be working together because in their lifetime, they were husband and wife. I've been waiting for the female Oba Yemoja Obatala. Oba Oluwakemi, where are you? Are you there? Ẹ bá mi tan fídíò yín kẹ́ ẹ bá wa sọ̀rọ̀. So, Oba àgbúrò yín o. We can't hear you. Whilst we're waiting, I think I have someone else who's going to share. Baba Lorisha, Egbelade, Baale Yemoja, share wa pẹ̀lú wa. Baba Lorisha, Omikumi, Egbelade, are you with us? Ẹ bá mi share wa pẹ̀lú wa. Baba Lorisha. So, ó dàbí ẹni pé ọbabìnrin ti yọ sí wa o, ọbabìnrin, ó dàbí ẹni pé mo ti rí yín o. Ọbabìnrin, ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò, ẹ bá mi sọ̀tàn yín bó lẹ ti kó Yemoja. Ẹ bá wa sọ̀tàn yín bó lẹ ti kó Yemoja, ẹ sọ̀tàn yín. Hello, ọbabìnrin, ẹ sọ̀tàn yín fún wa. Ọbabìnrin, ẹ sọ̀tàn yín fún wa, bó lẹ ti kó Yemoja. I think she's been assisted to thank you so much for joining us. Ẹ ṣé Ọbabìnrin Olúwakẹ́mi. Tí fídíò yín bá ń disturb, ẹ pa kẹ́ ẹ sọ̀rọ̀ láì lo fídíò, ìyẹn náà dáa tó. If the network is being disrupted by switching on the video, we've seen your face. I think she's out again. Let me go straight on to, I'm looking for, let's see. I'm looking for Baba Lorisha Omikumi, Baale Yemoja, Ìjọwà pẹ̀lú wa. Baale Yemoja, are you with us? Well, let's wait and see. Let me go straight on to someone else in the meantime. I believe Clara Harper is with us. Clara Harper, Yemoja of Ife. A very good afternoon to you. Welcome. Hello, Clara Harper, where are you? Are you on the line? Greetings. Please unmute yourself.
Greetings. Yes.
You will.
Can you hear me?
Hello, my darling. Welcome. Beautiful lady. You will need to increase the volume of your voice. Thank you, my dear. Thank you.
Is that better?
Yes, that's okay. Let me introduce you. This is Clara Harper. Ayodele Amik, Yemoja of Ife. The title Yemoja of Ife is from Oni. This is the lady who is currently in charge of the ancient Yemoja shrine that Oni is investing his money at the moment to bring to the required standard. Clara herself, the healer, a spiritualist, and the counselor, lo and behold, connected with two countries, New York and Trinidad. She's a founder of 2 NGOs, and I have to say, it's been a pleasure to engage Clara on a few occasions on telephone. She clearly is totally committed to taking Yemoja beyond what I've ever come across anybody. So, Clara, very warm welcome. Now, tell us, what is your business with Yemoja? Tell us.
What is Yemoja's business with me?
Please talk to us. Welcome.
Business with me?
All the way from Ife.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see if we can bring her back. Clara, you may need to go out and come back in. Hello. Right, I think she's frozen. I would really want her to share her experiences. This is a lady who started from Trinidad to New York, from New York. Now she's located in Ife, in charge of the ancient Yemoja shrine of Ife, under the direct supervision of the current Oni of Ife. I think we're having problems with the network. She's had to move from the location to be able to take part. She's had to move to another location today. Now, a very warm welcome to Yoruba Gbayi Productions. And if you've got earpiece, we may have issues with that. Please mute yourself. I'll be very grateful if you can mute yourself. That's very important. Yoruba Gbayi. Thank you. Well, whilst we are waiting, I think Oba Birin Oluwakemi has come back.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Ẹ ṣé, ó yẹ bá a sọ̀rọ̀ báyìí.
Ẹ má bínú fóònù yẹn ló ń ṣe yàmá. Èèpọ̀ òrìṣà o.
Òrìṣà èèpà.
Àdúrà wa gbà o.
Àṣẹ.
Inú wa dùn, ọkàn wa balẹ̀.
Àṣẹ.
Àní wọ́wọ́ tì.
Àṣẹ.
Ọ̀rọ̀ Yemoja. Ní ìtẹ́mi mọ̀ ìwọ̀nba nǹkan tí mo mọ̀ tó yé mi, chọ́ọ̀chì ni mò ń lọ tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀.
Ẹ dúró díẹ̀ ni kẹ́ máa sọ. She's saying, máa sọ díẹ̀, mo máa sọ sóyìnbó. Concerning Yemoja, she used to go to church. Ẹ tẹ̀síwájú.
So láti chọ́ọ̀chì yẹn, láti gbà yẹn náà mo ti mọ̀ pé ọmọ Yemoja ni mí, torí sẹ̀lẹ̀ ni mò ń lọ ń gbà yẹn. Láti kékeré.
She was a member of a church called Celestial, similar to Spiritual Baptist, and it was from there it was clear to her that she belongs to Yemoja. Ẹ tẹ̀síwájú.
Tí n bá ti dé chọ́ọ̀chì, gbogbo ìgbà náà àwọn wòlíì yẹn máa mú mi síta, wọ́n máa nà mí pé èmèrè gbogbo ìgbà tí n bá ti lọ.
Hold on. While she was in the church, the Christian prophets saw her as an unusual person, and they used to cane her. I think they believed she was carrying some kind of a devil. So they used to cane her. They would bring her out from the audience and they would cane her. She was a member of a church. Over to you.
So nǹkan tí mo kàn rí ni pé tí n bá dẹ̀ ti sùn, mo máa ń rí yèyé ní gbogbo ìgbà. Mo máa ń rí bọ̀ mí kí n lè sọ fún wọn ní ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì pé nǹkan báyìí mo máa ń rí.
Well, throughout that time when she was asleep, she would encounter Yemoja in her dream, but because she was a Christian, she couldn't share with the church what she was seeing in her dreams. Ẹ tẹ̀síwájú.
Tó dẹ̀ tí mo dẹ̀ ń dàgbà lọ náà, mo máa ń rí, ó ní bí àwọn kan ṣe rí fún mi nígbà yẹn.
Well, even when as she got older, she was still seeing Yemoja. And there were things were difficult. Things were also difficult for her. I guess, as you can imagine, somebody was a Christian, belonged to a Christian spiritualist church, and to be picked out from the audience every Sunday and to be caned because the prophets, the Christian prophets, were seeing certain things about her that they could not explain. Instead of trying to understand what was going on, they just deemed her as somebody carrying an unusual spirit that they needed to cane out of her. That is what you.
Ìgbà tó yá gbogbo nǹkan ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí da nǹkan rú fọ̀tá mi.
Then she began to have problems. She began, as she remained in the church, she began to have serious problems. That is what you.
Ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì gangan náà ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń jíṣẹ́ fún mi pé kí n lọ sí ilé pé omi kan wà nílùú wa kí n lọ tọ́jú ẹ̀.
Eventually, I think some of the prophets of the church began to get the message clearly, and they said to her, look, there is a river where you have come from, your ancestral homeland. Go back to that river. That is what you.
Ìgbà tó borí pé gbogbo ẹ̀ ó bá yá ìgbà tó tẹ̀ máa ṣe fún mi mo bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí rí má ti lálàbá ẹ̀ máa rí ẹja ńlá ní ojú ọ̀run ẹja yẹn á ní 7 color á dẹ̀ máa da omi sí mi lára bẹ́ẹ̀ ni.
It's got to a position where she used to see huge fish with different colors. You will notice the first one had rainbow color. She's saying the fish that she used to see, huge fish, had different colors. That is what you.
Nǹkan tó wá mú mi lọ sí ilé gangan nìyẹn.
So she returned back to her ancestral homeland. That is what you.
Ìgbà tí mo máa dé ilé àṣé omi tán sọ pé kí n lọ tọ́jú ibẹ̀ náà ti bí mọ́mì mi ibẹ̀ náà ti lọ tọrọ màmá tó bí mi lọ́mọ wọn ò yà sómi yẹn mọ́.
So she said she had to leave the church. She returned back to her ancestral homeland. And when she got to the river, apparently, when her grandmother was looking for a child, the child being her own mother, it was that river they went to request for assistance. And that was how her mother was conceived and given birth to. But that river had been neglected. That is what you.
So omi yẹn mọ́mì mi ló yẹ kó máa bọ omi yẹn but mọ́mì mi tètè kú. Màmá mọ́mì mi náà
Unfortunately, the
tètè kú so
mother
èmi
died
máa lọ
early.
lọ́wọ́ sí omi yẹn.
Yes. So in fact, what she's saying is that because that river was the party who assisted the coming to this world of her own mother, the mother should have been taking care of the river, but the mother didn't do so either. So the mother, unfortunately, died early. So she now has had to take the responsibility of looking after the origin of the mother. That is what you.
So ohun tó mú mi jókòó gangan ó ní gbogbo àwọn wàhálà yẹn bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ó ló jẹ́ kémi gangan jókòó tí mo fi di oníyemọja omi ọ̀dọ̀ wa dẹ̀ ní kì í ṣe pé omi tó ń bọ tẹ́ ẹ̀ ní rí yèyé máa ń fara hàn níbẹ̀ a máa gbọ́ ibòmí lẹ́kùn wá ní ẹ̀wọ̀n kí tán bá bọ omi wọn lè rí Yemọja wọ́n ń ṣe tọ̀dọ̀ wa ó ń jáde.
What she's saying is that she's saying that this particular river, when the river is well taken care of, Yemoja will appear. That it's unlike other areas where when they take care of Yemoja, they don't see. She's saying that Yemoja does appear after the correct rituals, the feeding and taking care of, Yemoja would appear. So iṣẹ́ yẹn lẹ wá mú dání ní ilẹ̀ ìyànlá yìí ń sìn kò síṣẹ́ mìíràn.
Kò síṣẹ́ mìíràn náà mo jókòó.
Kí lẹ ń ṣe tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀?
Tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ mo ń tajà.
Okay, ẹ ṣé.
Mo ń tajà mo ń ta wáìnì.
she was saying, she just said that in the past she was a small trader, trading things like wines. But since she encountered all these difficulties associated with, it's a generation difficulty. The mother actually was given to her own mother because they sought the help of that river. And the mother did not take care of the river. And unfortunately, so at the end of the day, I've muted you once, please mute yourself.
All right, I'm sorry, man.
Thank you. So let us go back to what we are hearing. What we are hearing now is that it is very clear that Yemoja is connected with a river or the sea. And it is possible that when somebody is looking for a child, evidence shows that we got 2 children born via this river. And these 2 children, years on, they've had no alternative other than to return to take care of the river. So I can only conclude that that river is their mother. That's my conclusion. So I want to thank you, Abadoni. Let me go straight on. I was looking for Baba Lorisha Omikumi Egbelade. Ǹjẹ́ wọ́n ti darapọ̀ mọ́ wa? Clara Harper, are you back with us? Hello, Clara, are you back with us? Clara, are you back with us? It looks as if Clara is having difficulties with the connection. Okay, so far so good. We have. Let me invite Baba Neil Rollins. Please assist me to share all the information that you've captured during this session with my viewers, my people in the Zoom area, and of course, feedback to those who have actually shared that information with us. Over to you, Baba Neil Rollins.
Wow. Well, thank you, Erilu. This was unexpected. But I should know you by now. It's always a pleasure to share what I'm hearing, and the stories are similar to stories that I have heard here and seen and experienced with my own 2 eyes about going to, in our case, we are surrounded, Trinidad and Tobago is an island surrounded by 3 oceans. So basically in the tradition, we go to the sea for Yemanja, or Yemoja she's called. And I've seen that happen to one of my brothers, going to the sea some years ago with Yemoja, taking him to the sea. And I think that they had some issues with children. And when the offering was done and the energy manifested, and she asked, how many children do you want? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then somebody said, well, don't stop it, else you'll have about 10. And I know he has 5 kids now, 5 children now, and I've seen that happen with my own eyes. So I understand, and I know that Yemoja is the mother of children, and persons who have that problem of having children, if they go, and do the proper rituals, and they go and ask, very simply, the petition is granted. The stories I've heard so far, we can relate to this. I know Shango Fumilaya is listening. I know that we can relate to the power of the mother of the ocean, the mother of fishes, the mother of children. That whole energy is a vast energy. We pay homage to Yemoja in Trinidad and Tobago. There's a Yemoja shrine. I haven't seen the ear on board, but I know that we pay that homage. And in some instance, I know Mother Dolo, every year at the beginning of the year, we go to the ocean and we pay homage to Yemoja and also to Oshun, because the sea and the river combines. And at the end of a period, at the end of the September into October, at the end of October, we go back and we say thanks for all that has been granted for the year past, closing the year past. So I know the power of the Orishas, and that those stories are secret, are truths. They are buried truths, because we are now hearing that information, and a lot of the buried truths are now being revealed. So it is interesting hearing the stories of both of the speakers, because we here in Trinidad and Tobago can relate to that that event or that Orisha who is there to help mankind and to bring family together. And this is what this is all about, bringing family together.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me go straight to Yaf Shogufumilayo. What have you got to say to this? A very warm welcome to you.
Greetings, greetings. Thank you very much for allowing me to be part of this session. But I want to say also greetings to all the elders and all the members of the Ifa Orisha community who are here with us listening. Okay, first of all, I must say that I got very interested when they began talking about how they were born and everything that was happening, you know. And I'm thinking, I had a story from my mother. My name is actually Mary. That's a given name that my mother gave me. She was having quite a difficult time having me at the hospital. And she prayed. She said she prayed to Mary. And when I was delivered, she gave me the name Mary. So I'm starting to put things together, and I'm seeing where Yemoja influenced so much of our lives. We can now put it together when we hear the other stories. Now I'm here with my pen making notes. Okay, Yemoja sent me back to Trinidad and Tobago. I migrated to the United States. And I was there learning all my ceremonies and everything. And there's a ceremony they have after a crowning called a bimbi. And there was a manifestation of Yemoja. And she came and told me, you have to go back to Trinidad and Tobago to take care of your children. That message came from Yemoja. So I'm just beginning to put things together and recognize it. She has always been here with us. It's nothing new. It's just that we are going to recognize it from this session. Many of us are going to recognize how she influenced our lives, how she held our lives together, held the community together. All these things was done under Yemoja, but we never recognized it. We are doing so now because every ceremony that we do under the spiritual Baptist starts with going to the mother. The mother could be where the river meets the sea, or where it's the sea alone. So she has always been there, and I am recognizing that now fully. Thank you very much for allowing me to say
Thank you very, very much indeed, Mama Shango Fumilayo. Let me go through the, let's see, a whole host of kids and kins in the Zoom area. Let me see who probably want to share. By the way, where is, oh, wonderful, Temple. What have you got to say about Yemoja? Temple, hello, warm welcome. Any encounters to share with us? about Yemoja. Hello, Temple, are you there? I can see you on. Can you please unmute yourself? Right? Okay, whilst we are waiting for Temple to be able to unmute himself, let me go straight to, there's someone called Yeyala. Yeyala, Yeyala, a very warm welcome to you. Eba mi unmute ara yin. Any encounters with Yemoja, Yeyala, Shewambe?
Oh,
Yeah.
Epa Orisha.
Orisha Epa.
Yes, I'm listening, but I'm in and out of the kitchen and listening. But
Thank you.
I had an encounter with Yemoja recently. Could have been about 2 to 3 weeks ago, but it was in my sleep too. And this woman had a look similar to yours, and she also had a look similar to what a lot of Trinidadians, or most Trinidadians, will know as Singing Sandra. And this woman come to me and she said, go to the river now and make offerings. I hesitated a bit, and then she said, come quick, gather people, get things that is blue, anything that is blue, or anything that you could find, put it on a tray, put it on anything, a blue cloth, even blue that we use to wash clothes, and go and make offering to that mother, because that is the mother that will protect us. That is the mother that will save us from all the bad things that is taking place in the entire universe right now. She says, go now and make offering. So I pass on this information to most of my spiritual children and other people too. So this, and then learning today that Yemoja is or was one of the wives of Obatala, it make everything that I saw in that vision real. Very interesting. Very interesting. Udupi, Ashe?
Thank you very much. Yeyala, anybody with Yeyala? This is this a title, Yeyala? Has it been given to you? Tell us more about Yeyala.
Okay,
because
yes, it is a title that was given to me by Dada Oba Obaleshun, the Obatala King of the world. Yes.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Now, and where are you based, Yeyala?
Yes, I'm from Trinidad. I am from Trinidad and Tobago. I am Ye Obatala of Trinidad and Tobago.
So you are based in Trinidad. You are based in Trinidad.
Yes, I am from Trinidad.
Orisha Epa, thank you very much indeed. Delighted. Let me see. Thank you very much for your contribution. Now, today we have unveiled that something about Yemoja is motherhood. Motherhood. You know, I am sitting here and reflecting on the stories. The two main stories we've heard, we've been told that two women wanted children and they went to the river. And by going to the river, lo and behold, magic, they conceived. One particular story hits me harder because one generation, and I want us to reflect on that, that is Oba Biri Yemoja Obatala. It wasn't her, she wasn't requested from Yemoja, the river. Now, it was her own mother who had come through the river, and the mother did not do her duty. And she, unfortunately, departed to the spirit world earlier. But the demand came upon her daughter. You can see. I want us to reflect on motherhood. You know, we are connected, motherhood, we are connected to our mothers. And when you look at Orisha, many of us, our ancestors, who were connected to one Orisha or another, you will find out that if your own immediate mother or father never went that way, you will just be arrested. And when you are arrested, you have no alternative. Take a look at the story of Obabiri Oluwakemi. She was a member of a church, and they used to cane her, because they believed she had some strange spirit, and they were seeing something. I'm sure they were seeing her as the fish, and they thought she was driven by the devil, until eventually, after suffering for so long, àbí ẹ̀ ń gbọ́ mi, ńgbà téèyàn tí àwọn tán láwọn ríran ní ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì, wọ́n rí arábìnrin bí ẹja, wọ́n dẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ná, wọ́n ná, caning her. Was that fair? Let me go back to Ọba Yemoja Àgbáyé. Ọba Yemoja Àgbáyé, ǹjẹ́ rí tí ẹ̀mí yín bá yín sọ tẹ́ tó fẹ́ bá wa sọ, ẹ ti gbọ́ lọ́tùn, ẹ ti gbọ́ lósì.
Mute.
Ẹ ṣí ntọ́ máa fi sọ̀rọ̀, ẹ ṣí ntẹ́ máa fi sọ̀rọ̀. Ibì kan wà, unmute yourself. Kíní kékeré kan, ẹ jẹ́ kí kan nú àwọn ọmọ fi hàn yín, kí a lè gbóhùn yín. Oya.
Mo ti ṣe.
Òrìṣà èpà.
Nǹkan tí mo rí, òrìṣà èpà, nǹkan tí mo rí nípa Yemoja, arúgbó odò, tó bá ní ọmọ
ló bá sọ̀rọ̀ o.
Ẹ ṣáà ṣe sùúrù, ẹ jẹ́ kó àwọn máa sọ̀rọ̀ lọ. Oya, ọbabìnrin ẹ tẹ̀síwájú.
Arúgbó odò, tó bá jẹ́ pé òun ló ní ọmọ, kò síbi tí ọmọ yẹn sáwọ̀, ó máa mú ọmọ ẹ̀. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ọ̀rọ̀ Yemoja.
Ẹ dúró ń bẹ̀ yẹn. She has described Yemoja as the old woman of the river, and that wherever her child is, it doesn't matter where that child runs to, she will capture the child to come and look after her, to come and do her duty. Kí lẹ tún rí tẹ́ fẹ́ sọ sí?
Ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kejì ni pé Ọlọ́run ní jẹ́ ká rí ìbínú ẹ̀. Àní rí ìbínú ẹ̀. Tó bá ń bínú, bó ṣe ọmọ rẹ̀ ló ń bínú sí, ó máa bàjà. Bó ṣe tí ò ń ṣe ọmọ ẹ̀ náà ló ń bínú sí, ó máa bàjà. Àní rí ìbínú Yemoja.
Ẹ dúró ń bẹ̀ yẹn. She's just explaining that Yemoja also is somebody who carries anger if she's offended. I am interpreting it as she does not like disobedience. I am interpreting it as somebody who, if there is a reason to have relationship with you, she is going to pursue you until, and she's going to smack you in all the ways possible until you go to her. She won't leave you alone. And the lady, the Obabiri Yemoja Obatala Agbaye is saying, may Olodumare not let us encounter the annoyance, displeasure, dissatisfaction of Yemoja. Because if you encounter it, she's explaining that it can be very serious. So here is somebody who probably, once you are supposed to serve her, you can't run away to anywhere. Ọba mi pa fóònù yín bẹ̀ yẹn. Ọba Yemoja Àgbáyé, kí lẹ̀yin fẹ́ rí sọ sí?
Yẹ́pà òrìṣà o.
Òrìṣà èpà.
Mo dúpẹ́ púpọ̀ lọ́wọ́ wa. Nǹkan tí mo rí sọ sí ni pé ìyá mi Yemoja Òdóló, ìyá mi ò bímọ fún bàbá wa tí ṣe Ọbàtálá. Ọbàtálá ó ní ọkọ Yemoja wà nù ìyàwó tí Ọbàtálá fẹ́.
Ẹ ṣe sùúrù, máa sọ kékèké, ẹ máa sọ kékèké. He's repeating that Yemoja was one of the wives of Obatala, did not have a child. Ẹ tẹ̀síwájú.
Yemoja jẹ́ òrìṣà tí ó ní agbára
A very powerful òrìṣà.
Òrìṣà tó ní àánú.
And also merciful.
Orísun ilẹ̀ Yorùbá láyé, orísun bí tí Yemoja wà, Ilé-Ifẹ̀ ni.
Well, the location, the origin, the area that one must understand Yemoja belongs to and is the headquarters is in Ife.
Kò sí ẹlẹ́gbẹ́ ọmọ náà, Yemoja ló bí. Gbogbo òrìṣà tí ó bá ti jẹ́ ní ẹlẹ́gbẹ́, Yemoja ló bí. Ọbàtálá nìkan ni kò bí nítorí pé kí ni Ọbàtálá ni ọkọ Yemoja.
Well, he's just explaining about Egbe. We'll be tackling Egbe another time because there are all sorts of issues about Egbe. But if we can focus on Yemoja, because linking Egbe with Yemoja, I'll have to put the question, Kini Egbe ní ṣe pẹ̀lú Yemoja?
Ṣé inú omi ni ẹni Egbe láyé, inú omi náà ti ṣẹ̀wá, Yemoja ló bí. Òun ló bí Ọ̀ṣun, ó bí Ṣàngó.
Hold on, Eduro. He's saying that all the Egbe, that is spirit companions. When you hear the word Egbe, you are talking about spirit companions, spirit helpers, those who work, who are there to assist you. He has mentioned Shango. If he mentions Shango, coming from a biological descendancy of Shango, Yemoja is ours. I can assure you. That's part and parcel of me. But so Shango, Oshun, who else? Talotun, Sumo, Talotuku.
Àti ẹni Egbe Ògún nìkan ni kò bí àti Ifá.
Hold on, let me explain that. He's saying that all the Orishas are her children, that the only one that is not, one cannot say is a mother. Two is Ogun, just Ogun. Now, I think we need to explain what that means. Yemoja would have existed well before Shango, would have existed well before Oshun, would have existed well before Ogun. Now, I believe that we need to interpret this in a way that we can understand it. We go to Yoruba traditions. Mothers are mothers of society. They are mothers of society. You know, it's not like now. So, I mean, I'm sure you have that. In fact, I shouldn't say that because in Trinidad and Tobago, Mama Shango Fumilayo is mother to many. So that it exists. I've just corrected myself because that's what I've encountered with the Trinidad and Tobago.
Yemoja ló ní èrè tí Yemoja fẹ́ jáde èrè ló máa ṣíwájú tó pè ní das rainbow tí òjò bá fẹ́ rọ̀ ló kọ́kọ́ máa yọ nígbà tán rí tẹ́lẹ̀.
Eduro. He's saying that the rainbow belongs to Yemoja. Yes. That if Yemoja wants to appear, the rainbow will be seen.
Gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn ṣe jẹ́ nìyẹn, Yemoja ṣe kan tí èèyàn fi ọwọ́ jẹgẹrẹ mú àkọrọ̀ fi Yemoja ṣeré. Kò sí òrìṣà náà, Ọbàtálá ni ọba gbogbo apáta, Ọbàtálá láṣẹ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá.
Now, we are looking at Yemoja, but by talking about Yemoja, you will see the issue, some of the things I've encountered with Trinidad and Tobago is this togetherness of the females in particular. And also, to an extent, the men have come across in Trinidad, this unusual cohesion. Because if I talk to somebody, they'll mention Mama Shongo Fumelayo. And if I mention Mama Shongo Fumelayo, Mama Shongo Fumelayo will say Baba Nil. If I go to Baba Nil, then we talk about Mama somebody and Baba somebody. I don't get that in Yoruba land. No, I don't. All these people, Mama Shongo Fumelayo, Baba Nil, all the elders, if they have a council of chiefs, I believe, in Trinidad too. But what I notice with them is the collaboration. You cannot be Orisha person when you are not going to work. You just, if I go back to what we've heard of Yemoja, that Yemoja is the mother of all these other Orishas. And if you look at Baba Nil and Mama Shongo Fumilayo, you will see how they are mothering. They are mothering and fathering. So it is important, the nurturing, the fellowship, the listening to cries for help. Now remember, Yemoja, from the story we have heard, Yemoja, somebody you can go and cry to, I have problems. Now, anybody who is connected to Yemoja must be a good listener. That's me, oh. Or is it possible to be connected to Yemoja and they cannot go to you with trouble? It's not possible. Because from the story I've heard, Yemoja was a listener, a comforter, also a healer, because by the fact that the woman conceived, it's not because Yemoja is God, it's because some healing took place. So let me stop here and go to my daughter, Omobonike, all the way. I'm not sure where she is today. Hello, my darling. Where are you today? She's all over the world.
I'm sorry. Good morning, Mother.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Thank you so much for allowing me again to be here in school and to listen. And I'm trying not to throw myself off here with all of the information that is coming to me. So bear with me while I ask a few questions. May I, Mother?
Please go ahead.
Okay. The little that I'm beginning to understand from Ife and the understanding of the bodies and the orishas that you call on, my little encounter with Yemoja, because all the names that I call, they reflect a part of my body. That's the only way I can explain it. Okay. I've also seen the color blue in meditations when I'm speaking about Yemoja. But more than anything else, for me, Yemoja represented definitively my, how should I put this, Mother? My liquids, my fluids, my sexual fluids, my urine, my menstruation, all of those rivers. And I hear you speaking about the mother who had not taken care of the river after her child was born. And I could see within my own self that she had not taken care of those portions of her body. Because again, if we're talking about Yemoja, the saliva, the sexual fluids, that is all her. And that's the only little thing that I'm asking. Am I understanding this? Because that is what it feels like in my own body when I see.
My darling, I trust you, because for a woman who was living with her husband and the husband found that this woman who was being sexually nurtured and interacted with never got pregnant. What is the use? What is the use? You rob woman, do this, do that. No, what's the outcome? What do you get? What do you get? No baby. And then decide to tell her to go away. I cannot be wasting my time now. You know, the massaging, the this, the that. Produce. No, it not produce. So then she went to the sea, to the river, and the nurturing and everything took place. And then fit to go back and do the needful. So I think we need to look at, it's not just what we are hearing, but the interpretation of the role, because even it means when you are a daughter and you're having problems, how often do you go to your mother? You see, Yemoja, how often do you go? If you have problems in Trinidad now, you Trinidadians and Tobagons, do you go and find Mama Shonko Fumilayo? Or you go and find Baba Neil? What do you do? So I think we need to be learning from what we are hearing, that when the time came, the most important thing for a woman is to have a child. So you go to husband, you don't have any child now. Waste of time. So you have to run to your mother. So they run to the mother. The mother comforted, the mother cajoled and said, okay, my dear, go back. There must have been communication between the woman when she was by the riverside to have the courage to go back and then conceived and then to go back to the mother. Yemoja to say, I'm now pregnant, and went to deliver the baby in the hands of her mother. And so the child born now is the child of Yemoja again. So we got to learn. This is how our ancestors and people of nature. Just see what has happened. You had a husband, you're having problem not to be able, you then run to the river. The river is the mother. And when the river did what was necessary, the time came, you had the child. And then time to come and look after your grandmother now, you ran away. That is irresponsible, is it not? Totally irresponsible. Nature is teaching us. One, be grateful. Now, remember the source of your origin. And you know something? We human beings, when we have trouble, we go to somebody, please help us, so we have trouble. Do we go back to go and say thank you? Do we go back? No. We don't go back. You see? We don't go back to say thank you. How many people go to Olorisha and the Olorisha help them here, help them there, help them there, and everything is okay? Do you see them again? It wasn't. Then we go to church and be saying, praise the Lord, hallelujah, praise the Lord, hallelujah. That's what they do in Yoruba land. That's where they go. Maybe you can see with Oba Bioni Agbaye, she ended up with Celestial Church, going to praise Jesus. When the mother, the grandmother, the river was waiting. The river, Yemoja, the grandmother was waiting. She now carried herself to go to church. The kinder. How did you think that happened? Because she never went back to, the mother didn't go and say thank you. The mother died. Now, the mother's mother, Yemoja, then orchestrated the caning. When the caning was enough, of course, she had to go. And that she's now looking after the grandmother. I hate to say it, but that Yemoja is the grandmother. Abi, am I wrong? Anybody? Baba Awurela Fakayoje. Aboru Aboye. What have you got to say to all of this? Am I getting it right?
Obato Mama Irelo Turase. Báwo ni o?
Adúpẹ́.
Ọba àṣà. Ọba ìṣòro mẹ́sàn-án. Ọjọ́.
So you can see, we are to learn the importance of motherhood. We are to learn that when we have problems, we can go to nature. You can go to the park, all the trees, all the leaves look after you, nurture you, and deliver something unseen. Our ancestors were spiritual people. They knew different things that the river was capable of. Let me see. Is there anyone else who want to contribute to what we are learning about Yemoja?
Greetings, Erilu.
Greetings.
Greetings,
Greetings
everyone.
to you. I can hear
Greetings to
you.
the elders. Are you hearing me?
Yes, yes.
I would have to say, Erilu, as you just made mention of being able to go to Yemoja for when you have trouble, as someone indicated earlier, not only in Trinidad and Tobago, but also in Barbados, we are surrounded by the ocean. So the divinity of Yemoja is linked to the ocean. And I can attest. I will speak first of one occasion where I needed to make an offering to Yemoja. And the money required was sizable, and I did not have it at that point in time, but I was urged to make the offering as quickly as possible. And I felt that it was urgent for me to do so. I went into my house and I got some silver coins and I got some molasses and I found some cowrie shells that I had around, and that was all I had. And I went with those items to the ocean. And I got on my knees and I prayed and I spoke to Yemoja, the spirit of the ocean, the mother of children, the mother of fishes, the one who I know I can cry out to for relief. And I, among everything else, said to her that I did not have what was required, what was prescribed for the offering. But what I have, I humbly bring, and I ask her to accept this. When I finally got the amount that I needed for the offering, and I took it to the Babalao, at the first time he touched the mat, the very first throw that he made, he was surprised, and he asked me, "Did you see that? Did you see that?" He said, "Well, it is yes in one. Your offering has already been accepted." And I knew that even before I got there, that I was able to go to her and with my heart and my humility, plead for her acceptance of what I was able to offer at that point in time to rebalance the energies around me. And further to that, Irilu, there were times when, I've had a project ongoing and it just seems stuck. Nothing is happening. I'm not getting the results that I want. And I need to get the results. And I've gone on my knees before Yemoja at the ocean and pleaded for assistance. And before I could get up and get back in my vehicle and go back to my desk, the assistance was there. So those have been my experiences. I continue to be able to rely on Yemoja, and for that I give thanks. For that I give thanks for the tradition that is still ours, that can bring us the relief that we may need as we walk this marketplace. I want to, if I may, Irilu, I want to call on one of our elders, Baba Okan, who I think is present here. If you may permit him to share any experiences that he has had or knowledge as it relates to Yemoja, I would be grateful. Thank you, Irilu.
Your wish is my desire. Over to you. Baba Khan. Ekabo. Hello. Over to you, Baba Khan. Please kindly introduce yourself, Baba Khan, so that we all get to know you. You may need to unmute yourself. You may need to unmute yourself, Baba Okon. Is he there? I'm trying to find out if he's with us.
Yeah, Baba. Yeah.
Hello.
Doesn't unmute himself.
You may need to increase the volume of your voice if you are speaking, because we can't hear you.
He hasn't unmuted himself.
I can't hear him at all. Baba Okon is here, but I can't hear his voice. It's very faint. At this junction, permit me to welcome Baba Okon. Are you there? We are not getting Baba Okon. Please, if you are there, whenever you are able to speak loud enough, please just interrupt, and I will allow you to speak. I'm delighted once again to welcome our dear friend, mother of the nation, Minister Penelope Beckles, who is a minister of the government of Trinidad and Tobago and also a member of parliament. A very warm welcome to you. Thank you so much for joining us. I know you've had a very busy day, and thank you for taking time out again. Time and time again, we find you in the most desired role of motherhood. And we are talking about a mother, somebody who, when one is in trouble, one can go to. And I can say, Honorable Minister, Ms. Penelope Beckles, you are a mother of the nation. Thank you for always supporting the sharing of this knowledge. When you feel you are able to talk to us, please let me know. I can stop if you feel you want to do so now, because I know you've been able to take some time out to come and join us. We've been talking about Yemoja, the mother. Now we have a story of women who were, you see, it looks as if Yemoja is about women. Am I wrong? If a man is in trouble, can Yemoja help? I'm just wondering, it just occurred to me, because Yemoja is a mother, and I've known from the story we've heard, when the women have been struggling with becoming mothers, they go to her and they talk to her and she helps. And Temple, my dear sister, has just explained, when I've got trouble, I go to this mother, the mother. So the importance of motherhood is being made clear to us. Let me ask, what do we give Yemoja? Minister Beckles, if you want me to stop now, I'll be delighted, but do let me know when should you want to share thoughts. But I just thought I'd like to welcome you, a very warm welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much, Irulu.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. No, at this stage, I came in very late, so I have not heard a lot. I would prefer to continue to listen a bit. Okay. But at this juncture, just to say that this is a very important discussion, especially for me as a woman, as a politician. So I'm listening, I'm learning, and at a later stage I'll comment. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much indeed. Well, before you came, we had two people who gave testimonies. One, the mother was married and never had a child, and the father thought the woman was wasting his time and just sent her away. So she went to the river. She went to the ocean to cry to the ocean. And somehow she left, went back to the husband, she conceived, and when it was time for the baby to be born, went back to the river, and the baby was born there. And at the time when the baby was being born, somewhere else, somebody delivered the message, said a baby had been born by the river. That's one. The other one who gave testimony, she was a Christian, belonged to equivalent of Spiritual Baptist Church. We call them Celestial. And the prophets of the church, they used to see, probably they were seen her as a fish. They would drag her out and cane her, and cane her. Thank God they never killed her. They used to cane her. And she suffered for so long until one day somebody else, probably you see, again, it's about when you get messages from the unseen. You see, when the Christians get messages from the unseen, they connect with the Bible. So, but if you get a message and you're somebody who is got a wider horizon, so this particular lady, one day somebody said, look, there's a river near your ancestral homeland, go back there. And when she went back there, she discovered that when her mother was wanted as a child, that was the river they appealed to. And that was how her own mother came. So that river was kind of like a grandmother to her. So she's had to give up her business. She's now looking after the river. So far, having heard all this story, we are seeing the importance of Yemoja as a helper. Wherever you are in the world, Yemoja is seen as a helper. Wherever you are in the world, we've been told, Yemoja, if Yemoja believe, you should come and make yourself available so that Yemoja can work through you to help other people. And you don't answer, you will be in big trouble. Big trouble, because Yemoja will pursue you until you are not pursuable anymore. And then you have to go there. So they said Yemoja is those who have encountered, we've been dealing with evidence-based information. We've been told that Yemoja also is a mother to Shango, is a mother to Oshun. Now, the only Orisha that she's not a mother to is Ogun. So, and which was linked to Egbe. If you see Oshun or Shango, these are people, when you talk about Egbe, you are talking about Orisha with followership, with followers. Shango had followers. Oshun, huge followers. So, at the end of the day, it's very important for us to be making sense of the historical information we are getting about our ancient ancestors. That includes Yemoja. And lo and behold, you just turned up. So that's as far as the story. But we've also been looking at what does it mean for us as women? Because the story I'm hearing so far, even the story I hear about Oshun, is always women going to her when they got problem, going to her. We were told that Yemoja was one of the wives, not the wife, or one of the wives of Obatala, and she didn't have a child. So nowadays, how many of you can put up with your husband having 10 wives? You see, it's even much more painful if the woman hasn't got a child. So you see, with this, in those days, if you don't have a child, it's your problem. The man won't be bothered. And you have to run to somewhere. Let us look at how do we take care of Yemoja? Now, Obabri, are you there? Abi Oba Yemoja Agbaye? How do we Kilashen Toju Yemoja? I will translate into English. Emma Abami so dear. How do we take care of Yemoja?
Tí a bá fẹ́ tọ́jú Yemoja, ó ní àgbà olórí ẹgbẹ́ láyé tí a fẹ́ tọ́jú ẹ̀. A lè ra ẹyẹlé funfun.
If we want to take care of Yemoja, white pigeon, etesiwaju.
Ẹyẹtù.
Now this is called guinea fowl, ẹyẹtù, guinea fowl, yes.
Agbo.
Now also ram or goat, then
oyin, biscuits.
honey, biscuit. Let me agenda in Benye. How do you have to ask Yemoja what she wants, or you start saying this? How do you know what Yemoja wants? Kile she monti Yemoja fe.
Fún ara ìgbà tí wọ́n bí mi tí wọ́n fi ń bọ́ fèmí láti ilẹ̀ pẹ̀pẹ̀ àti bí táwọn ìyá mi ti ṣẹ̀ wá nílé Ifẹ̀ bí tó fi ń bọ́ nìyẹn. Àti ègbó.
So I'm delighted with the answer. We feed our orishas what they used to be given and recognized by. Are you with me? So all what he has listed, the goat or ram, the guinea fowl, some may say ostrich, but it's actually guinea fowl, the white pigeon, these are examples. Now, can anybody just feed Yemoja? Can you look on the phone? Yemoja lonje?
Kò sí ẹni tí ò lè fún Yemoja lóúnjẹ nítorí pé kí ni gbogbo
there is nobody who cannot feed Yemoja. So, what we are being told is you don't have to go to any Yemoja priest. Sheala, you don't have to. And we are being told anybody can feed Yemoja. Why? Because, if you know Eredu now, Eredu loves Amala and so on and so forth. You see, anybody can give me Amala now. Yes? Shebe Losheri. Kábíyèsí ọba Yemoja, Ọbàtálá àgbáyé.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni ìyá mi, gbogbo àtọ́ ìyá mi.
Àgbò àtọ́. Now, you hear me? You don't need special ceremony. Oh, this Yemoja is mother of many of the orishas who have followership. Tony Egbe followerships. When you talk about Egbe, you are talking about followers. Followers. Shango had follower. Oshun, follower. So the important thing is our orisha. You feed them what they used to eat, abeko, or what historically. So you are in a position. You see? So thank you very much, Peaceful Orchid. Thank you. Now, the most important thing is that we can feed. Anybody can feed Yemoja. Anybody can be in a relationship with Yemoja. Because in any case, if you're a good mother, anybody should be able to come to you, true or false. Mama Shango Fumilayo. Are there people you don't mother? I don't know if there's another mother in the audience. I know Mama Shango Fumilayo is there. Now, is there another Baba Neil, another mother in the audience?
Yes.
Oh yes,
Yes.
Mother Anderson.
Mother Anderson. Well, okay. I want to ask from the mother. Okay. Oh, Mother Egbebukola, wonderful name. Right. I want you to comment on this. Mother Egbebukola Camille, are you there?
I am here, but I have not received the title Mother.
Okay, that's fine. Let me take that out. Well, how would you like me to refer to you?
Egbebukola is fine.
Okay, do you have anything to say?
Not at this time. I'm really enjoying this session. I am making my notes.
Thank you very much
indeed.
indeed. Thank you. Let me go straight to Yemoja, who is back. Over to you now. You want to share, how did you come across from Trinidad to New York? From New York, now you are in Ife, in charge of the ancient shrine of Yemoja. Over to you.
Thank you. Sorry about the network problem earlier. Before we go into that history, one of the important things I want to remind everybody is, yes, everybody can feed Yemoja. She's the mother of all. But there are some animal sacrifices that you cannot.
I'm going to overrule you, please. Yemoja, you cannot make any comment until you address my first question. How did you encounter Yemoja?
Okay.
Please, that's what I want to hear first. Thank you. I don't want to lose you again.
Okay, so you want to hear how I came from.
Please, thank you.
Yes, I grew up in the West. Yes, I grew up in the West, but I grew up on the beaches.
Okay.
I didn't know at that time that I went from St. Lucia, St. Vincent, Trinidad, Colombia, and I really didn't know why I was always pulled to the beach. I cannot go anywhere where I don't look for the beach first. And that started that I remember when I was about 4 or 5 years old. That's how far my memory goes back, physical memory. And that has always been the connection, but it was not revealed to me at that time. I could swim like a fish, the proverbial fish. I wasn't scared of the water. It's the day that I met Yemoja that I became scared of the water. That's the day, to be quite frank, I became so scared of the water. I had so much respect for it on that day. And I was about, I think I was about 11. I went out on a boat with an uncle. You know, we call all the elders uncle. Uncle Ren, they call it. And, just like that, the water was flat. And, you know, we were just going down fishing. These small boats, they call Moses, the one with the little house in the middle of the boat. And I was the only child on board because anywhere there was water, you know, once it's the beach, I'm there. So he always allowed me to tag along. And just like that, suddenly on a bright day, there was a storm. The water was high on both sides of the boat. It was like looking at 2 mountains of water, and the boat was down in the middle of the valley. And I came out of that experience when it looked like the water wanted to crash into the boat. So I was just praying, oh Lord, just let me make it out of this thing safely. You know, I know I can swim. I remember that's all I was saying to myself. I know I can swim. I know I can swim. So when the water actually came down, it never touched the boat. And that's how we were going. I don't know if for hours or minutes, but it seemed like hours. And during the course of that episode, that's when I saw it wasn't the form which she took in later years, but she looked like a pot-belly whale, like a whale standing on the top of the water with a very big stomach and the fishtail, but the top was like regular, not hair like mine or yours, but the hair looked like seaweeds, you know, and shells and everything, but the bottom of the body looked like a pregnant whale. And I remember when I caught the sight of her on the top of the wave, that is what totally distracted me from that storm. And that is what I remembered until we got back to shore. I don't know how we got back to shore, but I remember communicating with that particular being. I wasn't given the name at that time, or if I was given it, I don't remember. But she said, don't ever fear when you're in the water because you belong to me. I said, but she never gave me a name. So after that, I became very respectful of the water. Scared, but I'd say respectful so that it wouldn't look so, you know, so I wouldn't. Yeah, but anyway, that was my first very strong memory of meeting her in person. And I continue to be attracted to water till today. But the next really memorable one that made me, that forced me to be initiated was I went to Tobago in a village called Roxborough. Anyone who knows Trinidad and Tobago would know Roxborough. It's along the coast, up the mountains, and very steep road. Anyway, I was there tending to a friend of mine from New York. She had a restaurant there, and I was helping her take care of it. And the evening, we had finished cook and just waiting for people to come to buy food. And she came, hello? Okay.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah. And she came to me because in Roxborough, the road goes along the beach. If anyone here knows Roxborough, the road goes along the beach. So you step off the road on the right side, you're in the sand. So I was just off the road at the side of the sand, trying to watch the restaurant behind me and still keep my eyes on the ocean. And that's the last thing I remember before I was out in the water. But it seemed like I was sitting on the water. And there she was before me. And that's the day that she revealed her true name to me. And that's the day that she told me if I didn't initiate, she told me many different things that would happen.
Can I see clarification?
One brother from Barbados.
Yemoja, are you saying that encounter was in Tobago? Yeah. Tobago. That encounter was in Tobago.
Yes, the last encounter, that particular one.
Yes.
Then I went out to the water to her was in Tobago, in Roxborough.
Okay.
Roxborough. Many people there will probably remember it, older people. And she pulled me out to the water, but I wasn't drowning. It seemed like I was just floating on top of the water. And she told me many things that day. That was another very long meeting. She told me her real name, which we know we call her Yemoja, Imanja. We pronounce it many different ways, but there's a way she pronounces it, which is a sign now that I've reached where I am in her knowledge. That's a sign when someone comes to me and say, I've met Yemoja, this is what she told me, and I should be initiated. So if they can tell me that name, that's one of the bars that I use to, determine whether this person is. She told me about the offerings, which is why I wanted to mention those offerings.
Please go ahead.
Because she loves beautiful birds. She loves beautiful birds.
Can I take you back? So you had this encounter. Where were you initiated into Yemoja?
In Trinidad.
Okay. So you were
Trinidad, not in Tobago.
And did you live in Trinidad as Yemoja priestess for a while?
Yes, I was there for about 6 years.
Okay.
With Ia Rodney. She passed right now. Ia Rodney, down south. Yes. Everyone in Marbella knows her. Yes, she's one of the very old, very correct.
So when you left Trinidad,
that Trinidadian
where did you go to? Where did you go to from Trinidad? I need to fast track you so that we can.
How I got to Trinidad. I went there specifically for that. I left Tobago and I was visiting Barbados.
Okay.
And I met one of her spiritual sons. Agba Eshu. He's the one that told me, I told him, I just told him I have to be initiated, and, it's confusing me because I don't know who's the right to go to, blah, blah, blah. He said, he started to laugh because that time I hadn't identified him as a child of Yemoja or I thought I had identified him. He's the one that introduced me to his spiritual mother, and that's how she became my spiritual mother.
Okay,
So
let me stop you there. Yemoja,
went
from
New
there,
York.
where did you go to?
York.
Yes, New York. Yes.
To New York.
Right, okay.
So I went back to New York because I wasn't in New York at the time, you know, but I was just visiting Tobago when that happened. So I went back to New York, and I had to keep feeding her. I had no choice. It was like she had become so much a part of me that I couldn't spend a day, you know, it just became my work. It's something that just happened. You know, I didn't plan to dedicate my whole life to, you know, at times I would say, oh, I want to be just a regular person, but she doesn't allow that. You know, if you're for her, you're for her. So there's no halfway, you know.
Thank you.
She gave me I believe she's the one who gave me the gift of healing.
Okay.
So she worked through me. She gives me medicines, any sickness actually, but especially cancer.
Okay.
I think because my grandparents who taught me a lot of medicine passed away from cancer. And it's from Yemoja, going to the beach, giving her offering. And she kept speaking to me. And she gave me, in 1984, she gave me 5 herbs. She told me I should mix them together and they would cure any cancer. And that's when I started using it, and it actually works, still works. What's amazing, it still works today.
Let me say, I want to hold you there. Thank you very much. I think the important thing is not to mix your encounter with Yemoja and how you now happen to be serving Yemoja with other items. Now, you wanted to comment on feeding Yemoja. Over to you now.
Yeah. Okay. One of the things that she always reminds me is she loves beautiful birds. The guinea fowl is one of them. But she also loves peacocks. She loves ducks. The wild ducks. And we used to catch them by the river. And she loves white birds and white pigeons, but any kind of white bird. Pheasant. But pheasant and peacock and the pure white duck, pure white with no mark, should not be killed.
Okay. I'm going to stop you there because you commented on that. There's a particular reason why I want us to focus on the importance of Yemoja. It's interesting people comment on pure white. Now, as far as Yoruba traditions are concerned, the wearing of pure white, to whom does that belong, is very interesting because historically, Obatala is the one that is the Orisha of white garment. So if the wife is in pure white, that would be very clear. I want to thank you for your contribution, unless there's anything particular where now you are in charge of a shrine. Tell us what goes on as far as that shrine is concerned. That is Ife Shrine.
Okay. Kabiesi, the President Oni, was graceful enough through his own vision and my own vision, which I brought to him about the shrine, because there was no Yemoja shrine that was in operation when I 2 years in 2019. And what I brought to his attention, because I was 2002 that I had to return, and I had to reopen the shrine. And I told him, before I saw the Oni, it was months, I was searching the whole city to find out where this Yemoja was, to all the rivers. And it's funny, I was walking by that shrine. I walked many, many times. I lived behind the shrine. And all I knew was that was her river, but I could not see the actual location of the shrine. The reason was, it was so derelict. It was not functional. There was no actual building that was erected for it. And the locals, she told me she had not been fed for about 75 years. So I said, So I was there and I was feeding her at the river all the time, not knowing that that was the same junction of the river where she was sitting. But it was never revealed to me. It was revealed to the Oni. And he went and confirmed help. And afterwards, he told me about it. And I said, it's amazing because that's where I was living all along, right behind the shrine. Like 5 minutes walk, if I walk around the river, I was right there all the time. So that's how we, got into that relationship of the shrine. He's now, through his own money, he's helped us make a shrine. Although the work isn't finished yet, and I'm sure everyone here will be happy to help to complete the shrine. Yeah, but that's how I got there. My duties are I'm the custodian of the, so I feed her on a daily basis. Make sure many people come to pray to, especially women. And you asked a very interesting question about men not being taken care of by her. And I must tell you, men are taken care of by her just as much as women. They are. But unfortunately, not as much as they should be.
Thank you.
Women more.
I'm going to stop you there. Haven't engaged Oni on this shrine. You see, I want everybody to understand this. This current Oni, all over the world, our Irumoles bring people to serve him. Tell him I say so. Our Irumoles bring people from all over the world to serve Ife. That's the way. They bring wherever they are. Even Alaafin, Shango brought a Portuguese a white woman. He is the one who is there now. Our Irumoles bring people to serve. That is the power they have. It can bring you to serve. Simple. Let's make this clear. This current Oni, I can tell you for nothing that 3.5 years before the past one departed, Obatala revealed the person to succeed will be called anytime. Quote me. We didn't know his name would turn out to be any. So let's make this quite clear. Our Irumoles of Yoruba land are so powerful. They bring those to serve. Yes. Oni, that Oni is the spirit himself. Let me make that clear to you. So before he happened to ask you to be taking care of Yemoja, he will know you well enough. Quote me. Quote me when you speak to him. Now, let me go further and say, go to Oba Yemoja, Oba Tala Agbaye gbọ́, Yemoja Ife tọ́jú ẹ̀ wọ́n lè bí ń pa.
Iṣẹ́ ti di ṣíṣe lórí ẹ̀. Lẹ́yìn ọjọ́ ìtàn ebi òde nípa gbogbo wa, iṣẹ́ ti di ṣíṣe lórí ẹ̀ kíákíá.
Ẹ ṣé. I've just put a question to the Oba Yemoja, Oba Tala Agbaye, that they've been serving Yemoja. Let's get this clear. When people say one of our Orishas or Irumolas hasn't been fed, it is the feeding includes giving attention to. It's not only food our Orishas eat. Giving recognition. This Oni is because of the powers he has that brings people like the current Yemoja from all over the world. The rumorless drag them down to Ife to serve. I repeat, our rumorless bring people to serve. Because this is the same Orisha that took the lady that went to Celestial Church, that dragged her out of the church and carried her to the river in the homeland. Our Orishas are powerful. They are very, very powerful. So, and let me rephrase that. With greatest respect, Yemoja, nobody can be a custodian of our Orisha other than Oni Orisha. Nobody. Nobody can be a custodian of our Orisha. That's Oni Orisha.
Sorry.
Let's get that right. Oni Orisha is the only custodian of our Orisha.
Yes, then you.
That is why he's called Oni Orisha. So, no, you are not custodian. No, don't use a word that is going to create palaver. Yeah. Please. The custodian of every Orisha.
Not custodian of the Orisha.
Yes. So
not
the work
custodian of the Orisha.
Let us make it quite simple. You are just, you know, if you talk about Obalesun Obatala is a direct biological descendant. Obalesun Obatala is a direct biological descendant of Obatala. So is Aroli Oodua. Now, so all our shrines, that was the location of our Orishas. The whole lot of them belong to Onirisha. He is the custodian. Everybody that is there is taking care of that Orisha on behalf of Onirisha, the only living Orisha visible. All the others are Abankinyi. So let us make that quite clear. That shrine, I thank Olodumare that this Yemoja is there now to help nurture and bring things. It can be somebody else tomorrow. It can be another person 10 years' time. Nobody knows. But I thank you for what you're doing. Oni doesn't just put anybody in our shrine. No, he doesn't. No. There's another young woman like you, if I can call young. That is, most people don't know we have Oshun in Ife. And there's it's this Oni that put another, she's going to be my guest soon. The same Oni put the lady in charge of the Oshun. You see, this our our Oni, as Obatala told us, that it will be a person of history. Look at Moremi. We now have people taking care of Moremi properly. We have Obatala being well taken care of. So this current Oni is Oodua. I say so. Oodua reincarnate. So I hate to be so dramatic, but on this program, if you look at the opening remarks, I said we are looking at opening the truths that's been buried. So it's very important that that is clear. You heard 2-3 things that Yemoja said, that is pheasants. I don't believe we are pheasants in Ile Yoruba. is talking about anything white that is explaining. Are you going to say something? But guinea fowl.
No, pheasant is multicolor.
I didn't hear that. Sorry about that. Right. So, thank you very much indeed.
Pheasant is multicolor.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much. I think we are getting there. Long may people, if you happen to be wherever you are in the world, and any of our Orisha needs you, you shall be taken there to serve. Trust me, quote me anywhere. You shall be taken back to Ife to serve. Simple and quiet. That I know. If anybody want to believe that they can drag themselves to Ife, OTU. They say we have 401 Orisha. The 400 invisible, only one, Oni-Irisha, is visible. And then we got as far as 200 moved away, 200 still remain. And at the end of the day, they are all invisible, but there's only one Orisha that we see. And this current one is a proper Orisha. Orisha. Oni àṣẹ òrìṣà lẹ́nu mi o, àṣẹ òrìṣà. Èyí mo wí lọ́lọ́dùmarè ó gbà, àṣẹ òrìṣà. Now, I think we have come to a session where I want us to be clear that our Orishas, they are in the world of the unseen, but they are very connected to us. They will connect with whoever they so desire, whoever they wish to come and serve them. I can tell my story. I recall that who was it said that Obatala Agbaye said, only Ifa that Yemoja is not a mother of. I want us to clarify the word Ifa. Ifa cannot be seen. That's the first thing. Orunmila and Ifa, they always confuse the two. No, Ifa, nobody can see Ifa with eyes. Orunmila, it is true if you say it's not the mother of Orunmila. I always want people to be clear what is Ifa, what is Orunmila. Because they say Orunmila, Baba, Orunmila, and Ifa. Are hearing the voice? You are connecting with Ifa. The only thing that belongs to Orunmila is Odu, Ifa. Revealed to him. That one belongs to Orunmila, now in property. But if you break cola, you get information now. You break cola. Let me ask you one thing about bringing Yemoja, Obatala Agbaye. How do you get messages? Do you have to put Okpele down to get messages from Yemoja? Kila ṣe ń gbóhùn. Ṣé ẹ máa ń gbọ́ pẹ̀lẹ́kálẹ̀ kẹ́ tó gbóhùn ni? Àbí kí lẹ máa ń ṣe? Àbí how do you hear the voice? Ẹ ṣàlàyé fún mi Yemoja. Ó dáa. Bàbá. Ṣé Okpele ló ń bá yín sọ̀rọ̀? Àbí kí I've just asked a question. How do you hear the voice of Yemoja? Do you have to go and get Okpele? Or do you have to go? Òrìṣà Ẹ̀pà.
Òrìṣà
Ẹ̀pà.
Ó ń bá èmi sọ̀rọ̀, mò ń gbọ́ ni.
Mo ní ẹni tó bá jẹ́ ọmọ Yemoja, ó gbọ́dọ̀ ẹ̀mí gbọ́dọ̀ máa bá a sọ̀rọ̀. Kò dìgbà tó bá da fá. Ṣó ti yé báyìí nísìnyí.
Ẹ dúró ń bẹ̀ yẹ. Everybody listen very good. 2 testimonies. Let me ask Yemoja of Ife. How do you hear Yemoja's voice? Do you put Okpele down? How do you hear the voice? Yemoja, how do you hear the voice? Do you put up? You go to Babalawo, eh?
No. That's when you're very young in this. But remember, I have a relationship of 50 years with her. So
thank you. Thank you.
I just hear her voice all the time.
Thank you.
Always.
You see? Thank you.
Always.
Thank you.
There's nothing.
You don't have to put that me up my leg down.
Any.
You don't have to go to no Babalawo. You don't have to go to no Babalawo. You don't have to.
You don't need to.
No.
You don't.
No. You hear what Obabri said in Yoruba? He said, if you are truly the child of Yemoja, you don't need an intermediary to tell you what Yemoja is saying.
Always.
Ari Aba Meso, I remember in English. Aba Meso, Orisha.
Orisha, I've already raised my hand.
Please, I'm so sorry, I didn't see that. Go ahead.
What I want to ask everything is
yes.
I really want to thank everybody that is here. Ọbàtálá nílùú adájì ìlú adájì ìlú adájì mo wá kí yèyé ẹ ṣé mo dúpẹ́ inú mi dùn. My heart is full of joy with a program like this. The question I just want to put, which the Spirit has been telling me to ask, is if most of the questions have been answered anyway, but I really want to ask this question to Yemoja and Yemoja.
Okay.
How do you know that you are a daughter or a son, or you connected to Yemoja? That's number one question. I only have three questions. The second one is, when you now know that you are a daughter and son of Yemoja, do you need to be introduced? Do you need to be initiated to become Omo Yemoja? Then the third one is, what is the Ewo? That's the forbidden food that Yemoja does not eat.
Let's leave it there. If Orisha Epa, first question, how do you know you belong to Yemoja?
Yeah.
Kí lẹ ṣe mọ̀ pé ṣé gbogbo ìbéèrè yẹn ló yé yín? Kí lè wọ̀ kí ló ń jẹ tá a gbọ́dọ̀ fún Yemoja?
Ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú Ọba Yemoja.
Ọba Yemoja. And ṣó ṣe pàtàkì pé kẹ̀ṣẹ̀ lọ ṣòro Yemoja ẹ tẹ̀síwájú.
Yẹ́pà òrìṣà o.
Òrìṣà Yẹ́pà.
Ní àkọ́kọ́ bí èèyàn ṣe lè mọ̀ pé ọmọ Yemoja ni òun. Ọmọ Yemoja tí ó bá sùn kò síbi tí ò lè bá ara ẹ̀. Nítorí Yemoja dàbí òfurufú, kò sí ìlú tí ò kí ń lọ. Kò síbi tí Yemoja kò sí ní orílẹ̀-èdè yìí. Ó dàbí òfurufú ni, ẹ tó bá jẹ́ ọmọ Yemoja ó lè sùn.
The first answer is, the question is, how do you know you belong to Yemoja? He's saying that you will know because you keep finding yourself in different places. And it's usually you get connection whilst you are sleeping. Kilo tuku tefesole.
Nínú Yemoja yẹn, inú ẹ̀ láti mú ẹgbẹ́ jáde, ẹlòmíì sọ pé ní òun sùn, òun jẹ èso. Ẹlòmíì sọ pé òun sùn, òun wẹ̀ nínú omi, ibẹ̀ láti mú Ọ̀ṣun jáde. Lójú bá fún pé mo sọ pé ní Yemoja náà ló pé Ọ̀ṣun.
Ṣẹ́rí mi fẹ́ kẹ́ tó pọ̀ ẹ̀. Ṣẹ́rí mi fẹ́ kẹ́ tó pọ̀ ẹ̀ pọ̀. Yemoja nìkan mo fẹ́ gbọ́rọ̀ ẹ̀. Ẹ ṣe.
Ok, bí àṣẹ lè mọ̀ pé bí òun ṣe máa jẹ́ Yemoja ni pé ó lè sùn bí kò ń bára wọn ní inú omi.
Okay, ẹ ṣe. The next question, ṣé kí lẹ ṣe mọ̀ pé ó ṣe pàtàkì pé kẹ́ lọ ṣe orò Yemoja? Why the initiation into Yemoja if you're already the child of Yemoja? Over to you.
Tí wọ́n ṣe mọ̀ pé ó yẹ kó lọ ṣe orò Yemoja ni wípé tí a ò bá ṣe orò ẹ̀ gbogbo apátálá kò lóde ọ̀run àárín àwọn kan láti kò lọ́run ó máa béèrè tó bá dórí èpè ó ṣeéṣe níbi èèwọ̀ tó ń jẹ.
Ẹ ṣé, ó ti yé mi nsìn. The answer to this question, both question 2 and 3 goes together. The reason why one is to go through the initiation, above all things, is to understand the forbidden as far as you and Yemoja are concerned. Very good. So, Orishayepa, Obabìnrin Yemoja Batala, I've just asked somebody else, is that the truth? The big question, if you're already a child of Yemoja, why initiation? Why initiation? But we've been told one of the things is you want to have a relationship with this particular spirit mother, if I can say that, a spirit helper, if I can say that. But no matter whichever way you say it, it's all about providing help. So I think we are coming to the end of this program. I want to just quickly open everything up for those who must ask questions or comments. Let me go through and see. I could see some hands up. Mama, I won't come out. Well, I can see Michael Augustus. I can see Baba Urela. I can see Baba Okon. Let me go to Michael Augustus first. Michael Augustus first. Comments or questions, please? Please, you may unmute yourself. Whilst I'm doing that, I'm going to go to Baba Okon. Is Baba Okon now able to unmute himself and speak to us? Baba Okon. None. Let me go straight. I can see there's somebody else who raised their hand. Let's have a look. Somebody else did, and that is Baba Urela. Does he still want to say anything? Baba Urela.
Yes, Mama.
You still want to say something?
Yes, I was having fufu.
Enjoy your fufu then.
Greetings from Trinidad and Tobago.
Excellent.
And I greet all the elders of my country who's on the live Zoom meeting this morning. And I must commend you, Mama, and all those who are contributing to this beautiful program. I must say, Lopo. And it's really, really beautiful. It's really, really beautiful. But I want to do something that I always do for Yemoja, that when I go to the ocean, when I go to the river and praise Yemoja, that's my gift. And my gift is singing to the Odisha. So I want to bless you all with my voice.
Thank you. Thank you. Go ahead. Please.
Hey, Yemoja dewa yawa, Yemoja dewa yawa, Yemoja dewa ariwo. Yemoja dewa yawa, Yemoja dewa yawa, Yemoja dewa ariwo. Yemoja dewa yawa, Yemoja kaye. Yemoja kaye. Yemoja kaye. Yemoja saba. Yemoja saba. Zabaye Yemoja, Zabaye Yemoja, Yemoja, Obilodo, Yemoja.
Wow, I've already found myself in the river.
Yemoja, Obilodo.
Ìṣàyè pàtó ọba Yemoja Ọbàtálá àgbáyé ó yá orin wo lẹ wá fẹ́ kọ fún wa ìyàn ṣàlórin. Thank you very much indeed, Baba.
Òrìṣà.
Hello.
Olúwèrè Yemoja o. Olúwèrè Yemoja o. Olúwèrè akíyẹ o. Olúodò mo dúpẹ́ o. Olúwèrè wá faradẹ̀ wá o. Olúwèrè Yemoja o. Ọba lẹ́sù o, bá mi kẹ́ o. Onírìṣà bá mi kẹ́ o. Gbogbo ọba ìṣòro bá mi kẹ́ o. Olúodò mo wórí fún ẹ o. Olúodò wá faradẹ̀ mí o. Olúodò Yemoja o. Yemoja o, eégún máa ń pa o. Eégún máa ń pa o. Yèyé odò eégún máa ń pa o. Eégún máa ń pa o. Olúodò kókó lárọ̀ tá ń lé. Yèyé rè kókó lárọ̀ tá ń lé. Olúodò kókó lárọ̀ tá ń lé. Aládé kojú mi o, mo kí ẹ o. Ẹ pa òrìṣà.
Òrìṣà ipa ọbabìnrin Yemoja ṣẹ́yìn náà tún fẹ́ dá sí àṣẹ.
Àṣẹ.
Ipa òrìṣà ọbabìnrin.
Àṣẹ. Is anyone hearing me?
I can hear you.
Àṣẹ, this is Baba Okan.
Please go ahead, Baba Okan.
Àṣẹ. Greetings to you, here, Erilu, Tonwashe, and our various Agbayes, Obabiri, Oba Yemoja. I am Baba Okan from Trinidad and Tobago. And I must say to our Erilu that you have a very beautiful voice. We'd love to have you sing in Trinidad.
You have a very beautiful voice.
I came from a Yemoja shrine, an old Yemoja shrine in a place called Ravinsab, even though the shrine was first established in South Orupuch by a lady by the name of Mother Rose. The shrine was established by she and her husband, Mr. John Lindsay, who was the father of the great late Isaac Lindsay. And of course, the shrine had the name Kongopale, established by John Lindsay and Mother Rosilia Peters. Mother Rosilia Peters was, as we say in Trinidad, my spiritual mother. She was a Yemoja Husi. We use the word Husi in Trinidad, even though it's fun, not Yoruba. And she was after the great Panisa, Ebenezer Elliott, who was also a Yemoja child, a child of Yemoja. And when Mother Rose began to manifest Yemoja, Panisa left from Fifth Company in Moruga and traveled to South Orupuch, Berridge Trace, to see this manifestation that he was hearing about, the manifestation of Yemoja. These elders used to come, they had to come to prove it. This person is saying that they manifested Yemoja. Let's see what you have. And they came, he, Pa Francis, and a lot of the old deceased elders, ancestors, they came to see this manifestation and prove this manifestation. I personally, going with her to make offering at the seaside, would actually see the sea following her. This is a testimony I'm giving you here. The sea would follow this lady as she walked. I remember doing offerings by the beach, on the beach. And the sea would be at low tide, and yet it would cut a track straight to the place where the offering is being made. These miracles we saw by the sea has not been properly, hasn't over the years been really repeated. I've seen one person in the last 2 years that when they walk by the seaside, the sea following them. There's a person who is a Yemoja priestess in Trinidad, not well known, but I've seen that happen where the sea is following her, and it made me remember the days of Mother Rose when she's walking and the sea actually follows her.
Thank you.
Now, these experiences, to a large extent, help you to understand, helps people like me to understand who Yemoja is. Because I had turned away and went my way. I decided to become a Christian. And after some years in the Christian church, realized that I was wasting my time. Eventually, after years, many years had passed, someone came to my home with a message. The message was from Yemoja. Time to come back home. And this lady, I remember going by the beach and interacting with the spirit. And she's telling me, this spirit is telling me that she was responsible for calling me back to this work.
What would happen to be like that?
Because I had a destiny to complete. And she outlined for me what she wanted of me, which was to teach the young ones. After she told me these things, had me at a loss because I asked myself, I said, Mama, how could I teach? I don't know anything. She said, when you begin to teach, you will see how much you know. And I left it at that. Shortly after, Mama, Yeye Oshun, and then the various mothers all came to emphasize the role that I was supposed to play in this time, which is to teach. And when I speak, and I speak of Yemoja, I speak in a way, it touches my heart, because without her, I am nothing. without her commission and the words that she gave me and the titles she gave me, because she's the one who called me Baba. She's the one who said, Baba. I said, Baba, me.
Thank you. I thank you very much. I need you to kindly conclude.
Oh, I'm sorry. I do
No,
apologize.
not a problem.
I might have been getting a bit emotional. I do apologize.
Yes, it's understandable. Go ahead.
But thank you so very much for the opportunity. I think I will end right there because there's a lot to see. But I will end right there.
And I shall look forward to welcoming you back. The next program is one where I would like you to be one of the speakers, because that one is going to be looking at some of what you're about to talk about. Thank you very much indeed, Baba Okon. I think you've confirmed that Yemoja is available to male or female. There are all sorts of issues about who is a male and who is a female. Permit me to go straight on to somebody, that is somebody here who wants to talk about her own encounter as well. And I think is Lady Marsha. Are you there? Please unmute yourself. Hello, please unmute yourself. Let's have a look. This is Lady Marsha Clifton. Her name is. Please unmute yourself to share your own story briefly. Thank you. Welcome. All right. I noticed you joined. I've also got Michael Augustus, who I believe wants to say something. Over to you, Michael Augustus, if you are able to unmute yourself quick.
Erilu, this is the same person, Baba Okan, okay? I already spoke. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Right. Thank you. Now, Lady Marsha Clifton, maybe she's not able to unmute. I'm not sure.
Yes, I am here, Erilu. I got disconnected.
Okay, no problems.
I got disconnected.
Go ahead.
So greetings to everyone, to Honorable Minister Penelope Beckles. Greetings to you as well. I just wanted to share an experience that my family had with someone who worked with Yemoja. My cousin, an older cousin, had a son that was a woman in Marabella. I am too young to remember her name and that sort of thing. So this is me sharing my cousin's recollection of what happened. So she experienced difficulty during the pregnancy and so on. And my cousin was born with a physical disability. He was unable to walk. And someone had come to her house and was telling her about this woman who works with, she usually would wear blue and white, and she works with children and would see about them and take them to live with her. And her treatment of those children would include prayers and baths in the ocean. And she would take them and bathe them and exercise them and massage them and pray with them and so on. And when they were well enough, she would give them back to you, return them home, you know. And my cousin went, she described, when she described where she had to pass, she said she had to pass through a dirt track because the woman was living very close to the sea. She was just a stone throw away, a walk away from the ocean. And she went there and she took my cousin to see her, you know. Her testimony went so far as she said she was sorry that she didn't take it further because unfortunately she was young and she was afraid to leave her son. So, but the woman prayed with him and took him into the ocean and worked on him that day. And then I asked her, would you leave him? And she said she didn't want to leave him. She doesn't mind bringing him back, but she wouldn't leave him. And she took him back a couple times. That, about 3 times, gave Nigel the opportunity to sit up. And he could have moved his legs, but was unable to walk. But that was our experience working with this woman. And she explained when she was telling me about the energy that she felt. When she got there, I felt it. Because I'm talking about it now, and I'm still getting, and I'm getting goosebumps again. Because every time I think about my cousin and what he went through with that, with his disability, and the fact that she didn't leave him, is something that she regretted. But that is how.
Thank you.
That is that experience, and I know of other people who did carry their children to her, and the children were left, and are working men and women today who close to retirement now. And that's something.
Thank you very much indeed for your testimony. Ẹ̀yin tí ẹ bá ń gbọ́ wa tí ó dàbí pé èdè òyìnbó yẹn pọ̀, arábìnrin yìí ní kì í ṣe òun lòun rí ìrírí ayé, ó ní ṣùgbọ́n ẹnìkan tí ó dàbí pé kò lẹ́sẹ̀ tó jẹ́ arọ, ó ní nígbà tí ó dàbí pé wọ́n fẹ́ bó ṣe máa dìde tó lè rìn, ó lẹ́nìkan tó wà nílùú àwọn tó jó ní Yemoja, ó ní wọ́n gbé ọmọ yẹn lọ síbẹ̀, ó ní wọn ò fẹ́ fọmọ yẹn sílẹ̀, ó ní ṣùgbọ́n ẹni tán gbé lọ bá, ó ní wọ́n filẹ̀ fóun pé á lè rìn, wọ́n gbé sílẹ̀, ó tọ́jú ẹ̀, ó dẹ̀ rìn. Kí ni gbogbo ohun tá à ń sọ yìí náà ni pé Yemoja yìí alágbára ni, ẹni tí èèyàn lè fara tì ní, ẹni tí èèyàn ń pè tó ń ṣèrànlọ́wọ́ ni. Kò dìgbà tẹ́ bá gbọ́ pẹlẹ sílẹ̀, kò dìgbà tẹ́ bá lọ ń pe kin, kò dìgbà tẹ́ bá ń ké fà kan lé lórí, àbójú fà kan lé lórí, ó ti gbọ́. I was just saying that this Yemoja is the testimony we received so far. She's a healer. You don't need to go and read Oodua on top of her for you to get her help. No, you don't need to go to no Babalawo. You don't. And from what I've heard so far, it doesn't mean if you go to a Babalawo and a Babalawo tells you, go to Yemoja, please take yourself to Yemoja priest or priestess. Take yourself, if you go to a Babalawo and Yemoja comes out, please take yourself to Yemoja priest or priestess. Because, you see, we will be covering quite a lot of this as time goes on. There's no point of Batala coming out of a reading for you, and you are not going to a Batala priest or priestess. A Babalawo is supposed to do divination, tell you what is necessary. Unless, of course, Eku, Eja, and all the things that Orunmila wants is expected. If it is Oshun, go to Oshun priestess. If you go to a reading, it tells you Oshun wants something. Please, I beg of you, take yourself to Oshun priestess. Because that Oshun priestess is the one that Oshun has given the, shall I say, the authority to link up. I'm not suggesting you cannot find the Babalawo who also is saying, I am a Oshun priestess. Who knows? But you won't see a Batala priestess or priest who is a Babalawo. Please, Ejo, Baba Meso, you are a senior Ishoro. Batala priest and priestess Babalawo. Please answer, please, I need your help. Ṣé Babalawo làwọn ọ̀tọ̀ ọlọ́bàtálá? Ọbabìnrin, ọba Yemoja Batala àgbáyé, ṣé àwọn tí wọ́n wà ní ìdí Ọbàtálá ṣé Babalawo làwọn náà? Ṣẹ́yìn náà máa ń gbọ́ pẹ̀lẹ̀ ṣánlẹ̀? I've just put questions to them. I'm hoping one will be able to answer. Òrìṣà Epa, ṣé babaláwo ni?
A ò kí ń ṣe babaláwo, Ọbàtálá làwa gbójúlé torí pé Ọbàtálá ni baba aláṣẹ.
Can you stop there? He's saying we are not babalawo. Our connection is with Ọbàtálá. Second question. Ṣé máa ń gbọ́ pẹ̀lẹ́ jọlẹ̀? Do you put ọ̀pẹ̀lẹ̀ down or you do ikin business to hear the voice of Ọbàtálá?
A kì í gbọ́ ọ̀pẹ̀lẹ̀
ṣánlẹ̀.
A kì í gbọ́ ọ̀pẹ̀lẹ̀ ṣánlẹ̀.
We don't have anything to do with ọ̀pẹ̀lẹ̀. Ọbàtálá speaks. We don't have nothing to do with ọ̀pẹ̀lẹ̀. Next answer. Kí ẹ ṣàlàyé fún mi. Ṣé a máa ń ṣe ikin? Do you do ikin?
A ò kí ń ṣe ikin. Ọbàtálá la gbójúlé obì. Wọ́n fi dálẹ̀ fẹ́ obì.
Right. He's just said we have nothing to do with ikin. We have nothing to do with ọ̀pẹ̀lẹ̀. We only break kola nut. Kola is the way we connect with Ọbàtálá. I repeat, nothing to do with ikin. Nothing to do with ọ̀pẹ̀lẹ̀. Kola nut. That's the way they connect with Ọbàtálá. So, I hope that is getting clearer to us. Don't forget that the theme for today is talking about uncovering buried secrets. See that? Uncovering buried truths. We have had too much of unfortunate, poor standards of behavior over the years. It's time for us to go back to the truth. You want to feed Yemoja, be ready today. You want to connect with Ọbàtálá, you hear, it's Obi. Obi, not ọ̀pẹ̀lẹ̀. No, Ikin. Ọbàtálá has his own mouth to talk through Obi. But if you happen to go to Babalawo and a Babalawo say, Ọbàtálá needs your attention, please carry yourself to Ọbàtálá priest. Please carry yourself to Ọbàtálá priest. If the ọ̀pẹ̀lẹ̀ Ikin says you have to do Ọ̀ṣun, carry yourself to Ọ̀ṣun. If he says Egungun, carry yourself to Egungun. Were all these people connected? You know? I hope I'm making myself heard. On that note, I'm going to do a quick check before I bring in Minister Beckles, and then I'm going to bring in Mama Shango Famila to do kind of her final thoughts. And again, Baba Neil Rollins, and then we'll come to a close of this session. But before we go any further, let me go straight on to Ọba Yemoja, Ọbàtálá Àgbáyé. Àwọn nǹkan lè fẹ́ sọ kẹ́yìn ní òtò yìí kí n dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín, kódà mo dúpẹ́ lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀. Mo tún ń gbé yín papọ̀. Ẹ bá mi kí gbogbo lékẹ́ dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ wọn kí n ṣàlàyé tí káwọn náà káwọn èrò tó ń sọ òyìnbó tó sọ tiwọn.
Yẹ́pà òrìṣà o.
Òrìṣà Epa.
Ó fi àsìkò yìí dúpẹ́ púpọ̀ lọ́wọ́ kábíyèsí Ọbalẹ́sùn ọlọ́jà àrólé Ọbàtálá ó mẹ́ta dàda kan.
Thank you to Ọbàtálá, Ọbalẹ́sùn Ọbàtálá.
Eruwadájì.
Eruwadájì.
Ó dúpẹ́ púpọ̀ lọ́wọ́ kábíyèsí Onírìṣà.
My gratitude to Onírìṣà. Ọ̀jájá two of Ifẹ̀. Eruwadájì.
Ó dúpẹ́ púpọ̀ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ wa tí ẹ̀ ń gbọ́ wa nílé.
Thank you to everybody, the viewers and those in the Zoom area.
Inú mi dùn púpọ̀.
I'm very happy about this session.
Bí eré Yemoja ti gbalẹ̀, Ọbàtálá ti gbalẹ̀.
Well, it seems like games, both Yemoja and Ọbàtálá are beginning to take their own grounds.
Ọbàtálá ni aláṣẹ Yemoja
Obatala is actually the authority over Yemoja. There's nothing you can go to both Obatala and Yemoja. Remember, Yemoja, one of the wives. Nothing you go to both of them and shall not be granted. Obatala doesn't, you cannot use Obatala to come and tie your husband down, your boyfriend down. Obatala doesn't get involved in the evil. Don't go to Obatala if you're thinking of evil. Over to you. There are those who goes around using Obatala to and they use Obatala to beg for money. I would say, may Olodumare, may Obatala forgive them. I'm very grateful and I'm very happy. On that note, mo dúpẹ́ púpọ̀ lọ́wọ́ yín kódà ẹ gbé Ọbàtálá lárugẹ ẹ gbé Iyemọja lárugẹ gbogbo àdáwọ́lé yín wọ́n ti ní àṣetì kì í bọ́jọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kì í bóṣù ìgbíkìgbè tẹ́gbẹ́nu lẹ́gì àmàgùn ẹ máa ṣàṣeyọrí ẹrọ pẹ́sẹ̀ oní gbogbo ń tẹ́ bá ń ṣe ìrọ̀rùn lẹ́jà fi ń gbénu odò yóò rí bẹ́ẹ̀ sí bẹ́ẹ̀ mo dúpẹ́ púpọ̀ lọ́wọ́ yín pé ẹ gbé Ọbàtálá lárugẹ ẹ gbé Iyemọja lárugẹ ẹ wá dúró nínú odò ayé ò ní gbé yín lọ ẹ wá òtítọ́ ló máa lékè gbogbo aṣọ tí ò tọ́ sí Ọbàtálá tí ò tọ́ sí Iyemọja tí wọ́n wọ̀ sí lọ́rùn Olódùmarè bá bọ́ dànù Ọbàtálá bọ́ dànù Iyemọja bọ́ dànù orí bẹ́ẹ̀ kó ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ tó pẹ́ ọbabìnrin ṣe rí tí ọbabìnrin Yemoja Ọbàtálá ìjẹrí nǹkan kí nǹkan tẹ́ fẹ́ bá a sọ ní ráńpẹ́ nípa ètò tòní ìwúre tí mo ṣe náà ó dọ̀dọ̀ tí ọba mẹ́sàn mo dúpẹ́ púpọ̀ ẹ kú àdúrótì wọ́n ní tí mo bá bojú wẹ̀yìn tí mo rẹ́ni mi inú mi á dùn ara mi á yá gágá ènìyàn láṣọ mi. I'm just thinking that when I look behind me and I see people that are my own, I'm always happy. Thank you so much for your continued support. On that note, permit me to go straight to Honorable Minister Penelope Peckles, Member of Parliament for the government of Trinidad and Tobago. Sorry? Over to you, Minister Beckles. Are you still with us? Are you still with us? I don't seem to think she's been trying to link in and out of a meeting. Let's just go straight on. Oh, she's here. She may be interrupted. Let me go to Mama Shango Fumilayo in the meantime. Your closing remarks for this session, please, Mama Shango Fumilayo.
Okay, good afternoon. Again, I want to say it is a blessing to be here and to listen to all the testimonies that were given. I have a lot to think about, okay? I just want to remind everyone that all or most of our ceremonies among the traditional people begins with a trip to the sea or the river, or better still, where the river meets the sea, right? And that is where you will wash and you would go through whatever ceremony you have of cleansing before you go to the inner sanctum at the Church of Ely to complete your ceremonies. It all starts with going to Yemoja. Okay, what else would I like to see? Well, that would be the baptism that is being given now that we, Ms. Beckles is here? Oh, yes, okay. I need to stop. Ms. Beckles is here. Is that okay?
Yes.
No, you can go ahead. I'll come in. You go ahead. I'll come in after.
Yes. All I wanted to say is that These women in blue and white, as we would have noticed, always take care of the community. When you had a sick, when you had problems, you went to the women, and what you would notice or remember about them, they're always in blue and white, and they have always taken care of the community as we know it. Even when we did not know what was happening, these women were ever present, always there, and ready to give assistance. And the first thing is going to the water to meet Yemoja. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed, Minister Beckles. Let me do a quick. Is Yemoja of Ife still there? Whether she's got last few thoughts on this session? Yemoja of Ife, I think she's actually been disconnected by the network. Over to you, Mr. Beckles. Warm welcome.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, Irulu. I really, to be quite honest, missed quite a bit because today is one of these days when I'm doing a lot of things. But I really hope that there would be a second session because, you know, when you discuss motherhood, the role of women in society, the role of women, Trinidad and Tobago generally, the role of women in the Orisha community, that's a really, really strategic and a very, very important topic. I don't think it is spoken about enough, and quite frankly, I don't believe that the impact that women have had in the Orisha community has been sufficiently documented. But this session in particular, it is very, very timely. You know, with COVID, and you are seeing what is happening to women, not just in Trinidad and Tobago, in Africa generally, because of COVID, it's so important because, you know, when women are not there, whether it be in the workplace, or when women cannot have the kind of impact that they would like to have on the family because of issues, whether it is because you now are challenged by virtue of the fact that you're not employed and you have to put yourself in a position where you have to make do with less. And that is when you see the strength of the woman coming out. Also, what I always found very interesting as a child growing up and attending, you know, the Orisha activities or the spiritual Baptists was the predominance of women. I mean, sometimes you would attend activities and I mean, it's quite possible to see maybe 2 or 3 men who would be leading in these organizations, and then everybody else in the church would be women. And I was always fascinated by that. I mean, that is not exclusive to the church or to the Orisha or the Baptist community, even in some of the other churches. But, you know, when you look, for example, I like to use the concept of the Parent Teachers Association in Trinidad and Tobago. And you see the predominance of women, you know, and we do not often quantify or even qualify the work and the influence that women have had. So I really want to say I have not been able to hear everybody, and I apologize. I know my mic was on accidentally. I apologize for that as well. But I'm really looking forward to the continuation of this session because I think it is going to make a big, big difference. And I honestly believe that women are the change makers in this COVID environment. I mean, if you think of the health workers, if you think of the impact that they are having now in every single country in the world, it's really the women that will make the difference if we are to get this COVID right and to have it sorted out. So again, thank you very much, Irulu. I'm just happy that I can make my little contribution. I miss those who specifically gave their testimonies, but I'll be on again. And thank you to all the elders. My apologies, I did not say good afternoon.
Well, thank you very, very much, Mr. Beckles. I think in a few days' time, which is on the 17th, we shall be looking at Yoruba rituals, customary protection and traditions, how far we have got. And a woman is going to be leading that. The keynote speaker is going to be a woman. And soon after that, we are going to be looking at Olodo, the owner of the river. That's yet to come. Look out for it. So we will be returning to the subject of ocean, the river, the sea in the near future. Thank you very much for taking time out of your very busy schedule to be a mother. Always delight to be able to fall back on you, because you're a very good example of what we need to achieve in Nigeria.
You are very good.
And you cannot come across one minister in Nigeria. All the Yoruba, they run away from those of us who are Orisha people. They run away. Thank you very much. Blessings to you from the ancestors. May you continue to occupy that important motherhood seat. And may long life be a desirable outcome. For we need you to do exactly what Yemoja is doing, bringing closer to you. Those children of our ancestors, we shall be leading the world in the near future, and so it shall be. And he says, Bati wilo mari, Bati wilo mari, Eyi awiye, Atuni orin kan, ìyá lolùgbọ́wọ́ wa tí ń tọ́jú wa ní kékeré, ẹ̀yìn rẹ̀ ló fi ọwọ́. We are singing, that's a special motherhood song. It says, the mother is somebody who helps us, and the mother puts us on her back. Thank you very much, Minister Beckles. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now I'm going to go straight on to Baba Rollins. Over to you.
Broad investigation. We did hear from Democrats, Chuck Schumer and Dick Durbin.
To everyone again, and special thanks to Minister Beckles. As Erilu indicated, she's always there, for the support and the love that she offers, and I know that she has a long road ahead. Her journey has just begun in certain ways, and we are here to support her all the way.
We are here to support you, yeah. Nigeria
club.
I beg you, come on.
Those in Nigeria clapping.
Yes.
Everybody happy. Mama,
what's he calling for you?
Mama,
no.
So, Ashe.
So,
Mama.
Thank you. I need to bring this session to a close because I'm going to be a speaker at another event in about 10-15 minutes. And they're expecting me. So, Baba Neil Rollins.
Yes. So, it is so important that we have uncovered truths in talking about Mama Yemoja, and also the stories that came with personal experience on who Mama Yemoja is. She is a true mother. She's the mother of the Orishas, the mother of family and children, and we are surrounded by water. 3 oceans, 3 of the 7 oceans of the world. And it was interesting to hear the speakers talk about Yemoja and Tobago, because we know the extent of the power of Yemoja. And to add to that, we have the minister has added the elders, the mother elders of the shrines in Trinidad and Tobago, and the elder women in the 80s and 70s, they are the heads of shrines in the traditional Orisha community. All are late 70s, early 80s. The eldest is 84. She was 84 this year. So you have all are healers and mothers, and they're the ones that help the community in childbirth, in helping in feeding the community, in taking care of the young children. And Minister is quite correct. The work of the elders, all the elders, but including the female elders, are not recognized in Trinidad and Tobago, in the community. Once I get an opportunity, Erilu, I talk about the work of the elders. They are teachers, they are healers, they are midwives, they have been working in the communities for over 50 and 60 years, and they see about all the community, all persons, all races, all religion, all complaints, so that those are truths that need to be heard, and those are truths that need to be uncovered, because they actually do happen. And even today, it's happening. Now that we're in the COVID and in Trinidad and Tobago, you have persons who have lost their jobs, who are not employed because of the SOE and the curfews. So these elders now have more work to do in finding food to distribute to needy people. I know today some of the elder shrines, they are distributing bread and drink and cheese and etc. to needy families in their individual communities today. You know, so you know, in my humble position, in my humble way, you know, I ask the ancestors and the Orishas, and in this case, I call on the presence of Yemoja, you know, Yemoja to guide all of us. We are all her children, and we all wait on whatever instruction there is to come for us to do well and do a better people and be a better nation and to be better devotees. Erilu, thank you once again for your input, for your support, for putting these discussions together. It opens up new dimension for us. And I know that these are learning sessions, because one of the things, you have created a palais, as in Trinidad, as we say. A palais is a place of learning. It's a school, it's a school of knowledge. So our palais now is Zoom. So thank you so much, Erilu. And may the ancestors and the Orishas continue to bless you. And to all the important people, we are all important, all the guests, all the persons from Trinidad and Tobago, you know, a pleasant good evening. Thank you. And may the Orishas and the ancestors continue to bless us all. Ashe.
Well, on that note, it's time to say goodbye. But before I do, just in case anybody connected with Yemoja is not able to contribute, Olodo is coming. Please, whenever you come onto this session, if you want to say anything, the earlier you indicate, the better. I do apologize if I've not been able to enable you to say anything. I'm one of the key speakers for a session to start in about 15 minutes. But I want to say to those of you out there, thank you for joining us. I hope you've learned one thing or another, for the intention of this program is to uncover buried truths. When it comes to Erelu Tuwashe, you will always experience what most people know, which is bringing to the forefront the truth. The truth is the only way forward for the traditions. We must remove our tradition from the hands of those who want to cover them up with nothing but lies for their own economic reasons. Orisha will feed you, Orisha will support you, but don't con people. Don't create problems for people in order for you to make money via our Orisha. Our Orisha, they are open to everybody. I mean, they are. On that note, I hope you've enjoyed the topic for today. It's been a wonderful experience. Getting our head around Yemoja Ancestral Dynasty of Ife Oodua Kingdom of the Unseen. If just in case you are wondering whether the unseen are part of us, I hope today you have got just a tip of the iceberg experience of the truth that the unseen, not too far away from those of us who say we are the same. So on that note, I want to thank, first of all, I want to thank Ayodele Amik, the Yemoja of Ife, a healer, spiritualist, and counselor, incidentally, closely connected with Tobago and Trinidad. I thank her very much. Obabrin Oluwakemi Olajumoke Alabi, Obabrin Yemoja Ọbàtálá Àgbáyé, mo dúpẹ́ púpọ̀ lọ́wọ́ yín. This particular lady is Yemoja Ọbàtálá Àgbáyé because she's not just been initiated into Yemoja, she's done the right thing. She's gone to get sanctioning. She's gone through Ọbàtálá accreditation, spiritual ritual, to connect herself to the husband of Yemoja. So you can see Atotutosi. So hence you can hear me referring to as Yemoja Ọbàtálá. I want to also go straight on to Ọba Yemoja Ọbàtálá Àgbáyé. Again, Yemoja initiation and Ọbàtálá connection, the Oro, that is the spiritual approval. You see, Yoruba, where you cannot have a wife and you don't have the approval of the husband. It makes sense. I hope it does. Thank you very much, Ọba Yemoja Ọbàtálá Àgbáyé Idris Sulaiman Babatunde. Very grateful that you were able to share your encounters with us. Ọba Meso, thank you very much for joining me today. Through you, my gratitude, sincere gratitude to His Divine Grace, Ọba Ìṣòro, Dada, Ọba Lesun Ọbàtálá, Ọbàtálá Àgbáyé, Ọba Àrìṣà Àgbáyé, Ọlọ́jà, of course, and Arólé Ọbàtálá. Ẹ bá mi kí wọn dáadáa. Mo dúpẹ́ púpọ̀. He's also very busy. I mean, when you talk about Ọba Lesun Ọbàtálá, he himself is a king, he's a monarch. He's sitting on a throne of Ọbàtálá. And I repeat, he's a direct biological descendant. In the future, you'll come across other biological descendants of Ọbàtálá. On that note, I want to say it's always a pleasure to have Miss Beckles join me. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I want to say hip, 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 hooray! I know the way, hip, 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 hooray! And they say muso, 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 muso.
Muso, muso.
It's been wonderful. To those of you who have joined me from Brazil, from New York, from Mauritania, of course, Nigeria, Trinidad, Tobago, wherever you are, and you've been able to join us today, I bring you special healing of Yemoja. Whenever you are faced with any challenges, may you always find refuge in Yemoja. So it shall be. It shall be that today and forever for your generations to come. On that note, I say thank you, everybody, for joining me, and blissful, restful night. Thank you. I am Erelu Tuashe. We come to the end of another episode of Agba Onitonile Oodua. May elders never cease to exist in the land of Oodua. To that I say, a very good night and thank you for joining me. Odigba, ẹ ṣé mo dúpẹ́ lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀. Obilabo. Àtúpàdé láyọ̀. Ẹ ṣé mo dúpẹ́.
Thank you.
Baba Neil, thank you. Mama Shoko Fumilayo, thank you. And all the
Thank
rest.
you.
Thank you very much.
Most welcome.
And
My pleasure.
on that note, good night. Thank you. Thank you very much indeed.